寒风笑逆，竹林间，夜交错忽，现明月。箫声起，折叶飘落，淹没在汹涌的夜。夜色浸染手中剑，背对暗芒，何惧险？出鞘迎雪，浓似墨；入鞘收笔，断流烟。剑力下寒光，心无杂念卷残霜。千重万叶满是敌，叫我如何再忍让？一重山，一重庄，风声鹤唳夜如长，划破长风刺破乌云，叫一方息别伤。剑力下寒光，心无杂念卷残霜。千重万叶满是敌，叫我如何再忍让？一重山，一重庄，风声鹤唳夜如长，划破长风刺破乌云，叫一方息别伤。你心心必过，万次磨砺，皆不再对错。他远山纵险关，藏书上不让泪滴落。剑出鞘，给予我一剑斩断所有罪与责。这次生报来世，势必冲出心中艰难巍峨。剑出鞘，剑落，一剑往后仅需片刻。我在鸣笛，在暗处没人见过，听罪恶的呐喊在不断的渐弱。刹那间，箭射，永远这天为我变色。我直接引竹林间，不改我面色。为天有几许高大地，为我陷落去踏。哪怕黑山双眼的虚无，也从来都没想过放弃正义而屈服。我心里面的大义是为天下剔除，任何不公平在鲜血的余毒。但不是功名和利禄，世间无人能知数。揭开尘封的故事，前身有不凡的气度。剑力下寒光，心无杂念卷残霜。千重万叶满是敌，叫我如何再忍让？一重山，一重庄，风声鹤唳夜如长，划破了长风刺破雾，寻找一往昔别时伤。你心心必过，万次磨砺，皆不再对错。他远山纵险关，藏书上不让泪滴落。剑出鞘，给予我一剑斩断所有罪与责。这次生报来世，势必冲出心中艰难巍峨。
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are back at it again. Yeah, looks like Zzz'S is up for its next round of beatings, ladies and gentlemen. When you thought it couldn't be bad enough. Yeah. No, they're going in again. They're going in again. And of course, right, naturally, whenever we cover like topical areas like this, we gotta be really cognizant of the environment around us. I think like Billy just got released, right? The new Billy. Yeah, nobody cares. Yeah, no, I gotta take a look at some of the statistics. Holy fucking moly, what is this, bro? This thing looking seismic over here. What the hell even is this? Jesus Christ, all fucking mighty. What? Good God. Anyways, that's what the holy shit. I don't even know what to say about this. That's interesting for sure. Yeah. We got the Zzz'S situation, ladies and gentlemen, and as a bit of context, I was told to react to this. So yeah, no, I'm just listening to my potential audience over here. Just yeah, I've been explicitly told to react to this one. So yeah, let's go ahead. Let's get right on into this. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. Wait a second. Does anyone have that kind of like big old sheet? There was like a previous drama about it before. I think the JP people got on it. Wasn't there like a drama before where like a bunch of people from JP started like calling out the times when Hoyo has plagiarized other like designs and stuff? There was like a big, you know what? I might be able to find it myself. There was like a massive like fucking like drama about it earlier where they were all just like shitting on each other. I know there's the find on situation too. Oh Jesus. Oh jeez, I need to go find some shit, bro. I surely have some of this stuff bookmarked. I surely have some of this stuff bookmarked. Give me a second here. Nah, I know I've got it. I know I've got it here somewhere. I know I've got it here somewhere. Blah, 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 blah. Nah, it can't be that one. Check out this. Ah, here we go. What is this? Oh, yeah. I saw that this one got stolen as well. I heard that. Yeah. I saw that this one got stolen as well. Did anyone end up, does anyone have that shit, like, on lock? I'm gonna be honest, though. It's been, I don't even know when it was. I feel like it was a long fucking time ago. Oh, shit. Yeah, my last bookmarked tweets are, like, from December over here. Yeah, no, that's no good. Because this one's just not good. Yeah, look at the shards. I know. I heard the shards are, like, the shards still have Hiyuki on them. Yeah, no, they still got like Hiyuki and shit on them. Yeah, that ain't good. Yeah, no, that's pretty fucking bad. Wait a second. I have it right here, actually. Wait, no, I've got it right here. I didn't even realize I made a past video on this. Damn, bro, this shit was like a year ago. Damn, I didn't even realize I did all this already. Hey, anyways. Hey, we got it. We got it. Let's get this started. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are back at it again with another story that's very familiar to Hoyoverse games, and that story, that theme, is going to be focused on, well, you probably guessed it from the title and the thumbnail, plagiarism. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Hoyoverse, the company that's known for copying pretty much what every other company does in the space in some of the most uncreative ways possible. This is actually a video from a year ago where you can see all of the various inspirations Hoyoverse is taking with some designs, right? You see Bailu over here, and then another character that looks a lot like Bailu over there. Same with, like, Herta, that whole situation. And then you can kind of see how the character designs, right? You got units from Alchemy Stars over here, then the Zzz'S Bellabog cast. Yeah, that's not looking too good, is it? And apparently there's been another instance of this occurring over here, but it's not with character designs, it's not with, like, poses, it's not with splash arts, but it's with actual game modes. Well, through the story, and of course, in the minigames in the game. And I've had my attention drawn to this by some individuals on Twitter who decided to tag me. Yo, say I have something you can cover next. Zzz's devs caught stealing from indie devs. So let's go ahead. Let's break this all down. Because when a multi-billion-dollar company steals something, right, from, like, another company that also makes millions of dollars, people typically don't tend to care that much, right? Because it's kind of like, oh, the rich are stealing from the rich. Why do I, a poor person, give a fuck? Fair to say, right? But when you have a situation where the multi-billion-dollar company is stealing, right, from a guy who's also poor as well, that's a reverse Robin Hood, right? People aren't going to be very happy to hear about that one. So let's go ahead. Let's start breaking it all down. All right, so first things first. Last year, from Michael Cam, Oros out now. I assume Oros is the name of his game. Last year, miHoYo copied my puzzle game, Oros, in Zenless Zone Zero. Because they are a recognized billion-dollar studio and my game isn't well known, some people are now assuming that their version is the original and mine is the clone. So, first things first. There's a couple of things that we need to unpack over here. Michael Cam, don't worry. Karma exists. The karmic gods are out there. Because while Zenless Zone Zero might have done a bit of an ouchie, a bit of a boo-boo, by going ahead and stealing your product and just putting it into the game, putting it into their game one for one, the consequences for this company have already been faced. Brother, this is the viewership for their most newly recently released character, the new S-Rank Billy. Do you want to know what the viewership has been looking like for this game across the past 48? You can see over here, it's fluctuating quite a bit, but it has a very comfortable average of around, well, sub 1,000 viewers, regularly hitting double digits, so on and so forth. So while they might have stolen this, way back in like version 2.0, don't worry, dude. They are already facing the consequences for it. So there's not really too much you need to do over here. Just let MiHoYo keep running the ship as usual, and they will bring this shit to fucking ground zero immediately. So no real concerns about, you know, like Zzz's part in this. They're fucked. But now let's read the more, well, shitty part again. Because they're a recognized billion-dollar studio and my game isn't well known, some people are now assuming that their version is the original and mine is the clone. So why don't we go ahead and see just how similar these two things are, just from this gameplay demonstration over here with some commentary as well from the Oros community.
I saw some comments recently saying I copied a MiHoYo minigame, and I feel like I need to clear this up because they actually copied me.
And this is the issue. I don't even think that this dude would have made this call out or made this video if the Hoyo community wasn't so fucking toxic. Because they copied him, and now the Hoyoverse players, who of course believe that MiHoYo, Darway, invented everything, and that Hoyo has only had original thoughts their entire fucking life, right? Hoyo's never done anything that could even be construed as slightly similar to another company, right? They would never dream of doing that, especially in like their cinematics and stuff like that and all of their PVs. Never, right? Because these Hoyoverse players have disillusioned themselves with the idea that Hoyoverse is perfect no matter what they do, and they're always in the right no matter what they do, then now it becomes an attack on the people that Hoyo has already actually just wronged. And that's why he's likely making this response. I feel like if the Hoyo community doesn't harass him, doesn't accuse him of plagiarizing Hoyo, doesn't accuse him of all these other things that you can see in the comments over here, I don't think he makes this clip. And the funny thing is, brother, this thing is going viral. Brother, this thing got posted on a day ago. Like, literally, like, about 24 hours ago. This is literally 24 hours and 30 minutes ago. 1.7 million views, 44k likes, 4.6k bookmarks, 6.2k retweets, so on and so forth. Oh, Hoyo community, you kind of fucked up with this one, didn't you? Anyways, let's keep listening.
This is my game Oros. It's a puzzle game where you bend and stretch a loop so the orb can hit the targets in order.
I also, just a fair warning in advance, I hate this game. If you want to know how much I hate this game, you can just watch me play it in Zzz's so you can see firsthand how much I hate it. Let me get a good timestamp over here. All right, so we got to do a little bit of this. 1, 2, 3, and we got to make sure all of them. Oh, Jesus Christ. One
eternity later.
There we go. Woohoo! So yeah, I fucking hated that shit. So believe me when I say this, I'm like not on this dude's side from like a gameplay angle. I think your game is trash. But on the plagiarism side, nah, that's fucked up. But I also don't know why MiHoYo would decide to take a mini game or like an indie game that's actually this bad and put it in their game. They should have put it like a better one. Again, just personal opinion.
I released this in May 2024. And this is Endless Zone Zero.
Damn, bro. Fucking cradle robbers over here at Hoyoverse, man. Gee, damn, that game was only 1 year old.
Where you can play as an anime girl, walk up to a hacking terminal, and play a minigame, where you bend and stretch a loop so the orb can hit the targets in order. This was added 1 year later, in June 2025.
Yep, for 2.x.
It's basically the same game, and there are specific design choices I made that they happen to arrive at too. Like these curve portals, this hint system that shows the right shape, this soft flowing background, and these dotted influence lines.
I mean, basically, yeah, it's a 1-to-1 that's a reskin. Show me what new gameplay element they added that differentiates it at all from Oros. I guess that's the big thing. That's what I would like to see from anyone trying to defend this.
Unordered targets, and this reverse direction control.
Oh, he's doing the... Oh, wait. He's doing the thingy. He's doing the thingy. Brother, they put in the thingy.
This reverse direction control. Because MiHoYo is an established billion-dollar company and Oros isn't well known,
it would be hilarious if the missions were actually the same too. Right? Because as far as I'm concerned, he is making the same shapes as well.
I can see why people would assume that I copied them. But still, it's frustrating to have your work cloned and then credited to somebody else.
The fact he's waited over a year to make this, when he easily, right, he easily could have dropped this during the release of 2.x, while the stuff was still popular, while people were experiencing it firsthand, all of that. I think this just goes to show that the guy isn't doing it for clout. He's not doing it for clout. He's not doing it for, like, recognition. He's not doing it for, like, pity sales or any of that. He's just doing it because he's pissed the fuck off that all of these retarded children keep saying that he copied Hoyoverse, when Hoyoverse is the one that copied him. That's what I have to think when he's been sitting on this for over a fucking year, guys. Or really, not necessarily over a year yet. It's going to be like 10 months. He's been sitting on this for like 10 months.
So I hope this clears things up. I saw some comments recently saying I copied.
I will say, though, this is such a great video to portray his point. This is such a great video to sort of, like, package every single emotion that he's feeling. You can tell that this guy is mad, but he's keeping it, like, very cordial. And at the same time, calling all the people, like, trying to shit-talk him fucking idiots. Which is honestly a great way for him to handle this situation, because I think it's allowed his message, pretty much, like, loud and clear, to reach everybody. Not just in the gacha space, but in the mainstream space as a whole. So why don't we go ahead and see what some of the responses are right now for some of these individuals. Ooh, and we got one Hoyo defender ready to go right here. Are you ready for this one, guys? First comment, boom. You sure you didn't copy this game that released in 2023? And then they're showing Primo, right? Which is like, let me just double check this just to make sure that I'm not like, what the fuck is this, bro? Okay, this is like the weirdest link I've ever seen. What the hell even is, bro, what the fuck even is this? The fuck? Ah, here we go. All right, and they're saying, oh, you sure you didn't copy this game? And at first, you can be like, oh, wait a second. This does look slightly... I hate this shit. I hate the fuck not. Anyways, you can see it's the same photo, right? So you might be like, oh, wait, no, this guy just copied Primo, and then Hoyo copied him. So, like, why is he mad? He just copied somebody else, right? This is like the Spider-Man meme. But then Michael Cam over here, he had another one in the chamber. He knew some retarded Hoyo shill was going to say this shit. That's why he didn't mention it. He laid out the trap and then masterfully executed the counter. For all of you mentioning the game Primo, that one looks like a rip of the original Game Jam version I made for this game, Splines and Shapes, which I released in October 2020. Okay, now I got to go click this one. Let's make sure this one doesn't look weird. Wait, invalid URL? Oh, shit. Oh, shit. No. They copied him again. Oh, no, they copied him again, guys. So, no, he made Splines and Shapes in 2020. Oh, I made this in 2020. Then that one came out in 2023, so we copied him. So actually, he's the original author for everything. And then the next response that a Hoyo show can make after every single other argument has been broken down. Say nothing that makes any fucking sense at all. Say some absolute bullshit. There's no proof MiHoYo copied your version, though, right? I'm going to be honest. I really don't think MiHoYo noticed these games. Yeah, guys. What's the proof that MiHoYo copied his version specifically? Yeah, no, this entire segment over here was just, he didn't watch that. Yeah, no, he didn't watch this part. Nah, he didn't watch that part, guys. That was, that part was optional. You only need to watch 30 seconds of the video, and then by, like, the law of averages, you've seen the entire thing, right? So, like,
same game. And
Who cares if you didn't see that shit? You're allowed to make your own conclusions, right? Guys, this is the first post. This is the first comment, the first reply to his tweet exposing Hoyoverse. It's a retarded Hoyoverse player that's likely the same individual, the same one that left a retarded comment talking about how he plagiarized Hoyo. Like, you could just see how this is like an Ouroboros, right? You could just see how, like, this cycle of just stupidity keeps on going. You call it out. You bring every single receipt. You make a pretty much undeniable, just like a completely indestructible argument, and they'll still disagree with you. That's impressive. Stay safe, bro. The Hoyo dogs are coming after you. If not now, more than ever. You don't own certain game mechanics. You wanna know what the funniest part is? That same argument can be spun around and shown to the exact people that are trying to argue that he plagiarized Hoyoverse. So, he's fucked either way, right? It's either A, Hoyo copied me. The response is then, well, you don't own game mechanics, retard, so, like, why are you complaining? And then the other side is, you copied Hoyo, but then you're not allowed to say Hoyo doesn't own game mechanics, because they're the bigger company. Do you see how this is like a catch-22, regardless of how you interact with this community? No matter what, MiHoYo is always going to be in the right. Now let's read this. Didn't Wuwa make a Vampire Survivors in a Fortress defense mode like Fortnite Save the World? I don't really see a problem. Just look at the comments and the likes on that. The difference between Wuwa's alternative game modes and the ones that you see over here is that this, ladies and gentlemen, is a one-to-one rip. It's a one-to-one rip. There is nothing else you do in Zzz'S when it comes to this minigame other than just play this guy's game. Zzz'S basically just like in-app opens up another executable during its story and during its exploration, and it makes you play this guy's game. That's just what it is. There's no differentiations at all. The controls, the scheming, the gameplay, everything it is an exact one-to-one rip. There's nothing that Hoyo does besides renaming Oros to Ether Tuning. And believe me, don't worry, I've played this shit myself in Zzz'S, so I know firsthand this is all it is. And when a company doesn't even put their own twist, their own flair on it, uniqueness, blah, 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 all of that, and then just ships the same exact product that somebody else has made under a different name, hoping that no one notices. That's the big part, right? Hoping that no one notices. That's some shady fucking behavior, right? And that's also some shady fucking behavior from, well, a company that's done it so many fucking times before on so many different scales, and also the company that makes the most money as a developer in the gacha space. So not only are you rich, you're lazy, and you're also uncreative. Oh, and you also don't take responsibility for stealing other people's shit at the same time. And making no changes. When you copied your friend's homework in school, you at least changed some of the answers, right? And you modified some of the wording so it could be seen as different, right? They didn't do anything. They just copied the homework completely. And the only thing they did was use a different color of pen when writing down the same exact fucking answers, turning in the same fucking essay. And guess what? Unfortunately, the plagiarism checkers are going a little bit crazy. You can see you can see the Hoyo shills, ladies and gentlemen, are trying their fucking hardest. The Hoyo shills are doing their best. Oh, good God. And then somebody just brought up this bad boy again. Remember the whole copying homework thing I just talked about over here? Well, there you go. That was that shit that was in my video from a year ago, boys. Glad it's being brought up again. This company is known for this. This company is literally fucking now they're putting shit of like, oh god, now they're copying Wuwa again. It's funny to see one company that just blatantly does complete rips. And it's Hoyo on one side, and it's almost always Wuthering Waves on the other. Because this is what Wuwa is known for when it comes to plagiarism nowadays. Are you ready for this one? This is how Wuwa is involved in the conversation. Yeah, you probably know what's going on over here. Yeah, the one at the bottom, Tower of Saviors. Now they just straight up rip that shit. They rip that shit, bro. And they rip that shit so bad, I think you could still see like Hiyuki and stuff in like the mirror frames. Or like in the glass ice frames. Yeah, you can still see that there. They literally just AI'd this like random fucking generic Chinese, literally Chinese Wuxia dude over here and then called it a fucking day. But you want to know the crazy? I think they put more effort into this than Hoyo put into this. No lie. There might have been more effort put into this one. Because, like, they had to put in a new character design and stuff like that at the very least, right? There had to have been, like, some creative decision put into here. Bro, they just took his game and made it purple. Bro, they just took this guy's game and made it purple. That's the Hoyo way. And you want to know what the most poetic thing about this whole situation is? This happened close to a year ago. And you can see that Zzz'S has been on some of the most on the most diabolical downtrend in Gacha history. This patch released around here. Around this time frame, I do believe. And the game has just gone downhill in terms of popularity ever since. And if you're interested in knowing what the newest sales are for their newest character, this is what they got. Zzz'S new banner. Breaking revenue. Breaking revenue. Records. For the lowest day one revenue of all time in the history of the game. Right before 3.0. So, like, as you can see, like, if you know what these numbers mean, the further you are from one, the worse. And, like, to see it this bad in China is really bad. Yeah, no, they hate this game over there. They hate this game over there. And this is the proof that it is, annual ranking-wise, the 7th worst banner out of 7 this year. The worst banner out of all 7 this year. And then the worst banner out of all 33 Zzz'S banners combined. Fucking EOS Light Billy, bro. EOS Light Billy. Stop Starlight, more like Stoplight Billy, bro. Fucking Stoplight Billy. That's what this shit is. And seeing results like this, knowing how lazy, unmotivated, like low budget, cash grab, just spineless, just irresponsible, like fucking so many adjectives you could use over here. But one thing's clear. This couldn't have come at a better time because Zzz'S right now, bro, it's like that one scene from like JoJo Part 5 where like one of like the gang punching that dude on the ground. You know the scene I'm talking about, right? Where it's like 2 people kicking that dude on the ground at the restaurant. Bro, it's like this dude came in. He was the guy drinking coffee. He looks a little bit and then decides to fucking start joining in too. Because, bro, they already be getting beat up out here. Bro, they already keep getting beat up out here. And now they're getting beat up over here for like a fucking third frontier? Good God, bro. Can this game really... Could this game take a 1.7 million view, 44k like, 4.7k bookmarked, 6.2k retweeted, and 436 commented slander post? But it's not really slander because it's just fact. Can this game take that? Probably not. Now, what last thing I want to do over here is take a look at some of the quote retweets, just for fun, because then you get to see kind of like, okay, are people like on the side of the indie dev or are they on the side of MiHoYo? Let's see. I feel like I'm going insane reading the quote retweets Because I remember playing puzzle games like this years and years before Zzz's when I was a kid. Okay, so it's like, I think he's lying, but I don't have any proof. So that's the first comment over here. The way it's so funny that everything they throw to Wuwa comes back to their game as well. Y'all remember when people said Wuwa EOS? Y'all remember people said Wuwa EOS? You know. There are people attacking the indie game developer. Thanks for the content for videos. Wicked. All right. Oh, I'm sure the billion-dollar company all the way in China, quote-unquote, copied your so well-known game. A little bit of mental asylum. Mental asylum. So that's going to be the sum up of the situation, ladies and gentlemen. I don't see too much of a particular need to dive too much into the hornet's nest over there and then come out with a bunch of diseases. Because, well, let's be honest here. There's only one real side to pick over here, and that is Hoyoverse. Maybe you can actually have a creative bone in your body for once. Maybe you can stop recycling every old character design you've ever had in the history of the game in your newer versions of the game. Because everyone knows Zzz's 3.0 looks like they took every other Hoyo game design, put them all up in a fucking blender, and then told ChatGPT to go spit some shit out. That's what 3.0 looks like. And so knowing that this has kind of been in the back end of their development this entire time across all of YFA Peninsula, and of course probably into Roscala Fiera, I don't even know how to fucking pronounce that shit. It's probably going to be in the new 3.0 Bang Boo Aerial City as well. Yeah, just good luck anyone still playing this game, because the fall off here has been almost too demonic to even count, or too demonic to even like fucking really fully recount. But well, excited to see how low it can go. Let me know what you all thought. Peace out. Oh boy. Oh boy. Another amazing Zenless Zone Zero video. Love to fucking see it. Love to fucking see it, bro. Guys, I feel bad for Zzz's players, man. I feel bad for Zzz's players. What are these guys like, bro? These guys' existence is just like suffering. It's just suffering. All right, let me go. Sorry, let me go message my editors real fast. We got cool. All right. All right, that's looking pretty good. Now, shall we move on to our survey, ladies and gentlemen? That's enough. That's enough suspicious links clicked for now. Yeah, that's enough suspicious links clicked for now. Time for this. All right. Real quick though, I gotta go like below my fucking nose. Yeah, I don't know if you guys noticed, but like I got like a super stuffy nose in the middle of that recording. Let me go empty that shit out real fast so I can not be fucking ticklish right now. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Oh, that's not good. are back. We are back. Let's get right on into this. Alrighty. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are back at it again. It is time for the survey that you have all been waiting for, the anniversary feedback. And boy, oh boy, is there a lot of feedback to give. Some good, some bad, and of course, it's all going to be sent to us by, or the request is going to be sent to us by good old Yang Yang. And, well, we all know that this character is supposed to have a bit more story relevance later. Some people think she's the grand architect and all of that jazz. Maybe we'll find out more. We'll read some of her letters, I think, at the end. Maybe we'll be able to paint a bit of a greater picture of maybe some of the things she's trying to say. So without further ado, let's go ahead. Let's get that questionnaire going and, well, see what Kuro's actually going to ask us. All right, so natural flashbang right at the start. Lovely. Let's go ahead and start the survey. Let us know your age. Let's just put a random number. And now let's get ready to go. All right. Let me just make sure I'm not blocking any of the answers. All right. So far, how would you rate your overall experience in 3.3? We've played pretty much all of it at this point. And what I'll put in for now is a what do I want to put in over here? I would have to put a, it's either a satisfied or a neutral from the perspective of, I think I'll put satisfied for now. I'll put satisfied. Yeah. How satisfied are you with the following? Music and sound effects. I feel like the music and the sound effects are great this version. Story, I'll put satisfied for the story. I think one thing that I think was probably the worst part of 3.3 for me, taking into account everything, it was Hiyuki. Yeah, bro, I'm going to be honest. I hope she ends up doing something later because it feels like most of the story quest, at least her parts, is her just feeling bad about herself. And then she, like, doesn't feel like she does that much. So it's kind of just like a pity party for Hiyuki for, like, almost every single segment she's in like the 3.3 part. She has like one cool cutscene for sure, but like all she does is just like unseal something. So it's kind of just like I hope she ends up doing something later because it felt like it was a lot of setup for her for like her role in the story to kind of like conclude. Like what is she going to be? Is she like actually? I don't know. It feels like she just went nowhere. It feels like she went nowhere story-wise, and it was kind of just done to give her screen time. That was my one thing that takes away from it. World exploration. Yeah, I think they did a good job with it. I haven't done particularly much of the world exploration, but I heard a lot of people really love Demir Plains. I'll say it as somebody like, hey, good world design, adding in a bunch of the islands, and of course, like the flying, and then not making the flying resource annoying to use either. It regenerates super fast. You'll never end up like falling out of air if you don't like want to, unless you're really fucking dumb. So yeah, I think it works out well. Other than the actually, no, I'll put satisfied because they lock the exploration behind the story. Yeah, the actual exploration is good, but they locked so much of it behind the story. It was retarded, to say the very least. Locking it all behind like 3 hours. Now, environment visuals. That's where I'll put very satisfied because the new area looks really, really, really good. So, yeah, that's I think a fair breakdown at least of these 4 categories. Now we got resonator visuals. I mean, I think Denya and Hiyuki both look great, and I think Denya and Hiyuki both have great effects. Yeah, don't really have anything to say. Performance optimizations. Is Star Torch better or worse this patch, right? Like, I think it's better than before. I think it's better than before, but, like, it's still... Is it the same? Is it still bad? It did not change? A little bit better? I'll put neutral because I didn't notice it getting worse. Combat. I'm gonna put dissatisfied because they fucked up the end game. Yeah, no, I'm gonna put dissatisfied because the HP inflation they added to Whimpering Waste and TOA, the 20% in a bunch of very unique places. Yeah, I don't know about that one, dog. Resonator building. I'm gonna put dissatisfied this version because they story-lie Hiyuki stuff. Yeah, no, and getting 1-cost echoes in this version, brother. When you farm any echo in the high Roy nowadays, it will drop up to 3 cents. And so for 1-cost echoes, when an echo drops something, you have a 1/3 chance of getting the right set, and then a 1/3 chance of it being the right main stat. So in all honesty, whenever you farm an echo that you're trying to like get, you have a 1 in 9 chance of it being usable. 1 in 30 if you have a modifier, but at that point it's kind of like, oh boy, I'm using kind of a premium resource just to make my overworld farming less annoying. It's kind of ass now. Yeah, I'm going to be honest. Having 3 droppable sets for every mob is kind of a retarded decision. Now, based on your experience, how satisfied are you with UI design, events and challenges, and the co-op experience? Okay, star bouncing is fucking boring. I'm... Like, the anniversary events, I think, are fucking bad. Let me just be honest with you. I don't think the anniversary events are, like, good. Like, the cube one was so much better. The cube combat event was, like, so much better. It was insane. I think I played star bouncing for, like, a little bit, and then I just stopped because I was, like, I don't care about this, bro. I don't care about this. Give me my cubes back. UI design, I mean, I'll put very satisfied because I think it looks good. A co-op experience, are you on drugs? Why do you even put this in the survey? What co-op? What co-op? What do you think about the amount of playable content in version 3.3 reverbs from the endless galaxies? I'm going to put limited content for one main reason. It feels like the anniversary stuff is a literal afterthought in this update. Yeah, the anniversary stuff literally feels like a fucking afterthought in this update. For regular patch stuff, it's good, but yeah, I don't particularly feel myself like being like, oh yeah, I gotta get in and do all this anniversary stuff. Like, I had more fun last anniversary with like the bingo board that I would do to like roll on. I would like log in every day, get like a bunch of like these die, and then I would roll across the board to like get rewards. Instead, now we just have coins that you collect absent-mindedly, and then like every once in a while you'll like claim a thing from the menu. The board was like more fun and everything. Sure, some people I guess didn't like the goofiness of it. Bro, it's just it feels like the entire anniversary feels like one really long daily check-in. All right, I have already obtained Hiyuki and Denya. So yeah, that's they could have chose bigger pictures. What is this? Is that the best representation you could have done of your two newest playable units? The tiny ass photos? Okay. All right, how satisfied are you with them? I'll put how satisfied am I with Hiyuki and Denya? I'll put very satisfied for Hiyuki. I'll put neutral about Denya. Yeah, I'm good. I'm gonna be honest. I don't like that Denya has some restrictions in her kit. Maybe I'll put satisfied and then dissatisfied. Yeah, I'll put that. All right. How satisfied are you with the following aspects of Resonator Denya? Sound effects, good. Characterization, character development, person. I think it's good. Social media promotion. She didn't get me that many views on YouTube. Combat design, hit feedback, maneuverability, special effects, etc. I'll put dissatisfied. You want to know why? Because this character without her ultimate is not a unit. They created the first unit where if you don't have their ultimate, they cannot do anything except basic attack. I'm not joking, right? Every other unit in the game, yeah, some of them have burst modes, right? Like Jian, Zhang Liao. At least they can use their forte to do something. They can use their forte to do something outside of like their liberation to deal damage, right? Jian gets his skill enhanced. Zhang Liao can enhance his skill to jump up in the air. Denya can just basic attack and then use her skill that's on a 20-second cooldown, and that's it. No forte interactions unless she has the resonance energy to do it. I think it's just as a design, you just need to play her on the first half of Whimpering Waste, and you'll be like, huh, this doesn't feel like a complete unit. Or this feels like a unit that's a little bit underbaked. That's just my personal take, and you would notice it firsthand playing her in that game mode. Voice over quality. I know some people ain't gonna like it. I think her voice work is well done. Visual design. Splash art, 3D model, animations. I think they did a good job there. And meta performance. Resonator skills, damage output capabilities, etc. I'm gonna put neutral because, yes, her teams are very good, but she only has 2 and she works with 2 DPS characters. And even in those teams, she has a constrained number of supports because they intentionally designed her kit to require, like, certain DPS characters, but then also tertiary supports on top of that. If she's supporting Ibith, she needs Chisa. If she's supporting Luke, she also needs Mornier. So it's like, I don't understand, like, even on top of having restrictions, even in her unique resonance mode, she has more restrictions on top of those resonance modes to activate her full buffs. Because, yeah, her Tomb Break boost doesn't work without Mornier's off-tune build-up rate. And her Fusion Burst damage amp doesn't really work that well unless somebody else is increasing the stack limit, like Chisa. Plus, having specialized DPSs on time, it's kind of just like, yes, she's strong. Yes, her Ts are good, but it's also like, oh, bro, she has 2 Ts, basically. What do you think Denya's main appeal is? Like, tragic, cute, kind of crazy character that... Tragic, cute, and kind of crazy character that's also related to Fraxidus / Thernodians. Kind of has like a dual personality / I don't know. Like, and a happy / sad side that some people, the mentally ill, really resonate with. All right. And also most gacha players. There we go. All right, what else? Why is the promotional content for Denya on social media not satisfactory? She shared her advertisement / promotion with the Cyberpunk collaboration units and got mogged. And got completely mogged. What else do you want me to say? Like, that's just arguably what happened, so it's just not going to be as good. What do you want me to say? It's kind of your fault, though. Oh, God. What do you dislike about Denya? Holy shit. Oh, they know she didn't sell that well, did they? Oh, they must have known she didn't sell that well. Yeah, no, that's what this is, right? It's admission she didn't sell that well if you said to me this shit. Oh, they expected her to do better. Okay, all right. What did you dislike? Combat and sound effects, voiceover. I said they were good. Visual presentation, combat animation, 3D model, 2D splash art, skill animation, combat special effects. I think these are all fine. I think visually she's great. Characterization, character development, personality, identity or role in Solaris 3, interpersonal relationships. So this is kind of like the thing. Denya feels like what Firefly should have been from Honkai Star Rail. Does that make sense? Like, kind of like a unit that, like, literally felt like they lived for, like, 2 patches. That's what she feels like, bro. She felt like she was alive for literally just 2 patches, but, like, that was kind of actually it. And I think the end result is that you kind of don't really know what she's still doing. Like, it's still confusing what her role in, like, what her role in the story even is still. even was or will be in the future. Because, like, I'm gonna be honest, she was like a sub-boss. But then we ended up fighting Aleph 1, the big Gundam anyways, in the Exo Strider. So she was like a speed bump. She was literally a speed bump on the way to Aleph 1. So, like, even from, like, I guess, like, a gripping narrative perspective, it's like, okay, like, she was like a mini boss fight, got destroyed immediately, mogged, and then we went to go deal with Aleph 1 afterwards. So it's like, I suppose, interpersonal relationships. It's really just her and Sigrika, and nobody cares about Sigrika. So, what do you want me to say? Like, it's great. Like, all of her characterization is with Sigrika, but then nobody pulled or wants Sigrika, so it's kind of like all her characterization from, like, an investment sense is kind of wasted because she's linked to a character nobody gives a fuck about. So, like, that's not really that good. And when it comes to, like, Rover / Denya's relationship, feels rushed in an intentional way. Feels like both Rover and I, as the player, aren't meant to really care about her that much. Think about it this way. Rover doesn't really have emotional reactions to the bad stuff happening to Denya. And we kind of like aren't told to do that either, right? Because Denya holds up like the facade of like being fine the whole time, even though she's like supposed to be dying during the whole quest. And she like makes the decision to sacrifice herself, right? Deal with the issue on her own, by herself. That happens off screen. She like, I guess, has a conversation with Yuki. I'm gonna go seppuku. You know all about that because you're from Japan. Like it's like we're chill, right? So like that all occurred off screen and stuff like that. And then we don't even care that much when she makes the sacrifice and stuff like that. And I think it's fair because, like, bro, that was like the first or second time we ever fucking talked to her. Yes, and she like falls for us because she's a cancer patient, is gonna die in like a week. So it's like, yeah, they like, yeah, let me experience what love feels like for once, right? You get it. It is what it is. I think because of that, it's like they also put her story on a cliffhanger. And a lot of people don't want to pull somebody that's also dead. So it's like pretty obvious she's not going to be dead. But it's also just like, okay, like we're done in Lahai Roy. I got no idea when she's coming back. Is she just in void limbo forever? But nobody cares about her the same way they cared about Imith. Do you see what I'm talking about here? It's made vague, but like I feel like they should know why people don't really want to pull her that much. So now, character showcase. Anything I disliked here? No, I think they're good. No, I think all this stuff is good. Meta strength, meta performance, damage output capabilities. She is top of the meta, but has so many restrictions on activating her buffs that require both a specific DPS and a specific support. That is too restricting in the present day. Combat roles. I already know the assigned compatible teammates. Yep, compatibility with other resonators. Yep, too restrictive. Too restrictive to activate her buffs. Needs Mornier for off-tune buildup. Needs Chisa for fusion burst stack limit. While also having very specific outro skills that only work with 2 units in the game. There, that sucks too. Control experience, maneuverability, and hit feedback. I feel like they're both good. I don't like or own the resonators compatible. I hate Chisa. That's good too. Guys, you want to know one team I haven't played since day one? I have not played the Denya Chisa Imeth team a single time after day one. Bro, I don't like it. Dude, it feels like... Dude, it looks like shit. I'm going to be honest. In the TOA, it's the most disgustingly bad thing I've ever seen. Yeah, I'm good, bro. I'm good. Control experience, maneuverability, and hit feedback, that's fine. Combat mechanics, combat rolls. I think they're fine. I think her mechanics and everything is fine. I don't think anything's wrong with her actual... Oh, combat mechanics. Ooh, 2 resonance modes. How about this? Fix her... Like, her kit does nothing without her liberation. She is so bad and so awful gameplay-wise. In Whimpering Way Side 1... Concerto only, it's criminal. How did you make her kit so dysfunctional in one of the core game modes? Guys, I genuinely don't think anyone play tested her on Wuwa Side 1. I don't think anybody did, because you would and you'd be like, whoa, like, dude, this is really bad. Like, this is really... The character literally can't do anything. Can't generate concerto. Can't generate resonance energy. Can't do anything except leech off her teammates to get resonance energy and then finally use her liberation. Like, 30 seconds into the run. It's absurd. So yeah, those are going to be the main ones. Now, in your experience, how difficult is it to master Denya's combat mechanics? She has a dodge cancel. 1. But otherwise, it's pretty easy. Like, I'm not going to go ahead and say she's like Lupa level, where you just spam the left mouse button. I'm not going to say she's Lene level, where it's like you can't... Yeah, it's relatively easy. Did you obtain the weapon? Yes. How satisfied are you with the following aspects of the weapon? Forged Dwarf Star. Overall satisfaction. Pretty satisfied overall. Visual design, it looks great. Meta performance. I'll put neutral, and then description, readability, it looks fine. Why is the weapon Forged Dwarf Star not necessary? It's the only weapon in the Rectifier class that provides buffs to the entire team. Denya has no real alternative to this buffing ability. Unlike how Lene has Static Mist. She just feels like a worse version of Lene for most accounts, as she's more expensive, less free-to-play options, and less teammates, while requiring double the investment on the Sonata set side. Great. Now, this is just me shitting on Denya meta-wise. Awesome. And the thing is, I don't think anyone can even disagree with me, right? I'm just spitting facts over here. Did you obtain the following resonators before version 3.3? Why they gotta do me like this? I did it. No, I don't pull constellations in this game. No, I didn't convene for them. I didn't convene for them, no. Why didn't you convene for Mornier? I have her! Where does it say I already had her? I own her. Okay, that's it. Why did they only ask me for her? Why did they ask me for the other units? Do they not give a shit about the other ones? What the fuck? Anyways, which of the following games have you shown serious commitment to? You either made in-game purchases or played it for more than 10 hours. All right. Technically, yes. Technically, yes. Technically, yes. I played Valor for like 1 hour and I quit the game because it's shit. Yes. Warframe, yes. Naruto Mobile, Dungeon and Fighter, no. Muse Dash, no. Arknights Enfield, yes. League of Legends, yes. Arknights, no. Genshin Impact, no. League of Legends Wild Rift, no. Why are they putting League of Legends on here? What kind of interesting ass setup is this? It's a bunch of gacha games and then like, I guess Dungeon and Fighter and like Riot games. Hey, are they about to turn these characters into MOBA units? Hey, I'm just saying. Hey, I'm just saying. At PvP, I'll crush everybody. Which of these games have you played in the last 2 weeks with weekly playtime exceeding 30 minutes? Oh, weekly playtime, just 30 minutes. Let's see over here. I like that they put NTE on here. But I think it's just been NTE, bro. I have basically quit Enfield. I have quit Genshin, quit Honkai, quit Zzz'S. I tried playing Warframe again, and this is what happened. I logged into Warframe. I saw that, like, my boy Sevagoth had a new Prime variant that came out, like, 2 years ago, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna just go buy the blueprint pieces for this. Spent, like, 15 platinum, bought Sevagoth Prime, built him, and then he looks like a lesbian, so I uninstalled the game after that. Yeah, no, I didn't even know what he looked like, and then I, like, took him out of the foundry, and he looked like a lesbian, so I uninstalled the game. Yeah, no, I spent, like, a couple of, I even farmed Argon crystals. I even farmed Argon crystals, bro, to get him ready. So, like, this is what I mean over here by Sevagoth Prime looking like a lesbian. Y'all ready for this? Y'all ready for this? I uninstalled the game after I like pulled this shit out of the foundry and I was like, what the fuck even is this? I was like, bro, why would I, what even is that? And this is the thing. All I saw when I was building him was the top part. And I was like, dude, this guy looks badass. I was like, dude, there's no, like, dude, this guy looks fucking sick. This is what he looks like before you build him. Yo, it looks like fucking cool. Bro, what the fuck? What the fuck? Bro, looking like a fucking Concorde design out here. Anyways, sorry. That's why Warframe isn't getting checked off. Even though I did play more than 30 minutes. I hope you could understand why. All right, moving on now. Is that the last question? That's a little bit awkward. That's a little bit awkward, I'm gonna be honest. So, I guess let me make a summary for the questions that I saw thus far. Some signs might be pointing to this. A lot of questions seem to be focused on revenue and why or why not you decided to pull certain units. And I think the kind of like main conclusion I can draw from that is this. Hiyuki did very, very, very well revenue-wise, and Denya maybe didn't meet the projections that they were expecting. And that Denya probably could have been a unit that sold a lot more. And there's also potentially a chance that the reruns, right? There was a specific question about pulling reruns and stuff, right? They asked about those as well. So I'm personally of the opinion that maybe Denya plus the rerun banners didn't get as many pulls or sales as they thought. Maybe likely due to the fact that a lot of double top-up bonuses haven't been used yet, right? That's the big one, the double top-up bonuses. Because they gave out so many pulls in the update, people just kind of got what they needed and then left, right? A lot of people skipped too. Because what's coming up, right? What is coming up, ladies and gentlemen? You should probably all know it yourselves. That's right. It's the Cyberpunk fucking collaboration, guys. Yep, that is the shit that we got coming up in, I think we had the live stream for it in about like 2 goddamn days. So with that in mind, right, I think this is them just trying to get a grasp of, okay, why did some people maybe decide to pull? Why did some people maybe decide not to pull? But I think the answer to them should be very obvious. When you show this, like 6 days into the patch, right? Bro, this was launched like maybe 6 or 7 days after Hiyuki's banner dropped. That was like 2 weeks. This came out 2 weeks before Denya's banner. This came out 2 weeks before Phase 2's reruns. This came out in the middle of the Phase 1 reruns. If you're wondering, Kuro Games, about why certain maybe sales metrics, revenue targets, top-up bonuses, so on and so forth, haven't hit, it's probably because you did it to yourselves. And if you're wondering where all the double top-up bonus resets are, all the big purchases, all of that, I think they're going to come in the next version. Yeah, I think they are. I wouldn't be surprised knowing that 3.4 is probably going to be a bigger update than 3.3, both hype-wise, content-wise, and also limited character-wise. This is kind of just like taking a hit in the present to get greater returns in the future. Because, well, when you have 160 plus free-to-play pulls in an update, chances are most people actually don't need to top up to get what they want. And chances are, even if people did need to top up, guys, they use some of the lower price bundles. You know how there's like a $5 one, a $10, $15, $50, $25, all of that? They all give double. So you get the same like amount of like your Lunites or whatever from buying the $10 pack that you do from buying the $100 one. So if anything, people are probably buying out the smaller packs first if they do need that little extra. And then saving all the big guns for the collab over here. So overall, I would say a lot of interesting questions from Kuro, but I kind of wish they did focus more on, like, at least in my survey, right? I wish they did focus more on, like, the actual content, the actual end game, the HP inflation, all of that. And there was less of a focus on, oh, okay, like, why didn't we make money this patch? But then again, it is the anniversary update, so I'm sure it's an important topic for them. So, yeah. Now let's go ahead. Let's provide the feedback over here for all the other stuff that we wanted to talk about. This anniversary... Oh, God. This anniversary event-wise didn't really feel like an anniversary. The events were not as fun. The rewards were not as interactive. And it all just felt like one big login event. Login event where I just click check marks and get things. Additionally, the end game is ruined. You 20% HP inflated every mode except for End State Matrix at the second half of the patch. Why though? It wasn't necessary in the slightest, and you counteract this HP inflation by having some of the strongest buffs for certain units in the Tower of Adversity and Whimpering Wastes. Older units cannot keep up, even those from the 2.x patches. There needs to be a revisitation of balancing damage, HP, buffs, restrictions, etc. by the time we head into 3.5, or stuff could get real messy real quick. And that's where I'm going to leave it at over here. So, like, we've already talked about it. Old unit buffs, changing Sonata sets, so many things that could be done to kind of, like, just, like, rewire and, like, fix up the game, but not a lot of stuff is happening right now. So, yeah, hopefully sooner rather than later, because this latest HP inflation on the TOA has actually made so many teams so close to not clearing, it's not even funny. Even, like, modern 3.x ones. And that is probably going a little bit too far. But that's just my personal take. So that's going to be the submission over here. And I do guess that we are done. Thank you for your support of Wuwa. Yeah, I know I give the best answers. Now, though, we got to wait for something else. Yeah, closed beta participation. Fuck that shit. Let's read some of these letters that we got over here from Yang Yang real fast. Yeah, I should probably automatically delete it in 11 days. Oh, that's why my mail gets deleted. All right. Rain has been constant lately in Jinzhou. Drizzle mostly. No chill in the air. Bill, when the fuck are we going to go back there? As I sort the letters you wrote me. We write her letters? Can we see those? I realize how time flies, measured in the letters received and sent. We're once again standing at the threshold between spring and summer. How is the Roy of Frostlands now? Is it still snowy? You said you'd pilot the extra strider and head for the strider gate. Yeah, we already did that, dumbass. Do be careful in your endeavor. I have no doubt that you'll bring back whomever you wish to bring back. Already happened. Let the wind carry my letter and good wishes to your side. I will wait for it to carry your letter and good news back. Oh, she's such a little dumpling, isn't she? Now see, hey, do we have the reply yet? I heard there was a reply and it was actually like Lord Relevant. Give me a second here. Yo, why is she lagging? Yo, who is she talking to? Yo, where's my shell credits times 50,000 in Morphable Echoes X2? I'm gonna just look it up on Reddit. So like I actually Here we go. Here we go. I just pulled it up from Reddit. Fuck that shit. So she says some shit over here about like Hiyuki, Denya, Imeth, those outside the void matter, those inside it. In the face of the crisis, they all did their part without trepidation. I admire their determination. Yeah, no, she actually mentions them all by name over here. Determination is what brings one closer to one's goal, one step at a time. It's with this same mindset that I left my hometown for Jinzhou. Ooh, where's she from? Grand Architect. Determination you have in abundance, and you have become a beacon for so many. Didn't Fraxidus say something about them being the Waystones? Waystones and beacons are like kind of the same thing, right? For so many, I believe that a happy ending is sure to arrive when all are coming together to fight the Thenodian. Forge ahead, Rover, with determination. Oh, she's spoiling the ending? Oh, she's spoiling the ending over here? Oh, I guess that means we're going to have the true Avengers Assemble moment, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have the true Avengers Assemble moment. We just need to find out who the Doctor Strange... Wait, is Chisa going to be Doctor Strange? Is she finally going to do something? Yo, it would be saved if Chisa becomes the Doctor Strange, right? Surely, right? Surely we can do that. A little bit of a sus letter. Maybe this is the Grand Architect. Who knows? This really gives me the vibes that this might actually be the GA, though. Yeah, I don't know. It's the, kind of interesting language over here, but we'll see. But yeah, that's going to be the end of this survey, ladies and gentlemen. Just wanted to put that little... Did I get it yet? Here we go. Here's the starting part. The rain has stopped. The sun is out. I opened your letter to read. It warms my heart to learn that the Thenodian crisis in Lahai Roy has been resolved. And then that's the rest of the letter. So, yeah. That's the end of this one, ladies and gentlemen. Overall, excited for the Cyberpunk collab, but definitely think that this anniversary, it could have been better. It wasn't bad by any means. Shit ton of rewards, amazing patch, amazing story, amazing characters. But like the anniversary part definitely could be better for sure. Let me know what you all thought. Peace out. Good patch. Anniversary though? I don't know about that one. Dude, like the events are so... The events are such an afterthought, bro. The events, this patch, are such a fucking afterthought. Like, I don't even take them seriously. It's kind of dry in the second half. The elusive realm is easy AF. You were not wrong about Sagrika and Denya. Wait, this is pretty good. Are we friends because our banner schedule's like this? Dude, it's like the two the skippable sisters. That's what it is. It's the skippable sisters, ladies and gentlemen. Bro, that shit. I got that nickname. I was remembering XQC. Describe K-Day and her sister, Sakura, right? And bro described them as the Sinister Sisters. Dude, that shit got me fucking weak. That's still some of the funniest shit I've ever heard. I can't. So in real life, we got the Sinister Sisters. Here we got the skippable sisters. There you go. There you go, bro. Witcher 3 is getting a new expansion? No fucking way. 10 years later, it's getting a new expansion? Really? No fucking way. I thought the story was done after Blood and Wine. Songs of the Past? Huh. It's out in 2027? It's 11 years... oh, wait a second. Oh, I thought it was 11 years story-wise. Nah, this is crazy, bro. Third expansion launches in 2027. It's co-developing it with a Fool's Theory, whatever the fuck that is. And you will be playing as Geralt. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay, looks like we gotta play that one. Yeah, looks like we gotta go play that one, boys. Dude, I didn't realize Heart and Stone and Blood and Wine all came out within a year. So, like, you got Witcher 3 and its 2 expansions within a fucking year. Which is, like, crazy once you think about it. Both of them in a fucking year. It was a great time. Bro, that was so long ago, it was crazy. Like, most of y'all were probably in, like, middle school or, like, yeah, probably, like, middle school. Some of you guys in elementary. Some of you guys in high. And some of you fucking old-ass mother bitches, like, in college or, like, working. Yeah, you guys are old as shit. Yeah, let's be real here. You pushing 40, bro. Hey, go watch Gacha Smack. Have him laugh at anime boobies for 30 minutes. Yeah, go watch him. He's more your age. He's more your vibe. I actually marathoned Witcher 3 for the TV show. Well, how'd season 4 work out for you, retard? Sorry, even season 3, too. Holy shit. What a fucking mess. What a fucking disaster, bro. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. All right. Anyone got that video? I heard there was a video out there of somebody clearing the TOA. Of somebody clearing the TOA with, like, nothing. Like, it's, like, all free-to-play characters, like, 4-star clear. Like, I saw somebody say, like, a video of that being done. And I wanted to, like, do an analysis of it. Yeah, I wanted to do an analysis of it just to, like, break down, all right, how realistic is this for most players? Because one thing I do want to prevent is the whole, like, cancerous, oh, yeah, by the way, I did it with free units. I did it with free units and 4 stars, so it can't be that bad, right? Yeah, it can't be that bad, guys. So, like, if you can't clear it, it's because you're just bad at the game. All right, so it's a Danjin and Chisha main? Oh, is that what's going on? Okay, Julia's channel. Oh, damn, bro, this shit do be like 20 minutes long. All right, Echoing Tower Floor, Resident Tower 4. Bro, I don't care about those. Yeah, I don't care about these ones. Hazard 1 and Hazard 2. I also don't really care about these ones. Though I will say though, it is kind of impressive. The real ones I'm worried about are Hazards 3 and 4. Because the buffs over here are very general, so it's like this is the thing. Hazards 1 and 2, they're not bad at all compared to the last reset because the buffs are so general. Hazard 1 and 2 feels exactly like it does in some of the prior resets. Some could say even easier than some of the past resets that we've had. But 3 and 4, oh no, that's where shit gets bad. And specifically 4. 3 is easier than 4 for sure. So yeah, let's go ahead. Let's get a little bit of this going. Yeah, I wanna just take a look at those runs and do a bit of a breakdown of what we're gonna be seeing. All right. Let's check this out. Let's check this out. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, as you're all probably aware, Wuthering Waves has had a bit of an update to its endgame mode, or really its endgame modes, Tower of Adversity, as well as the AoE mode, Whimpering Wastes. And that update has been 20% HP inflation across the board for most of the bosses and most of the enemies that you will be fighting. And the end result, guys, is that there's been a lot of ruckus, a lot of conversation about just how unachievable certain TOA floors have become. And the best way for me to break it down is simple. You have the left and the side towers, right? The right tower hasn't really changed at all. The left tower's gotten a little bit harder, but nothing too crazy to write home about. The middle tower is where all of the shit has hit the fan. And specifically, floors 3 and 4. Floors 1 and 2, on the other hand, at least in this reset, aren't that bad. Both the bosses have gotten their HP inflation increased by 20%, but it's not that bad because you get this insane buff over here on floors 1 and 2. Attack is increased by 20%, and Resonators gain a 30% all damage bonus for 20 seconds when using an intro. Everyone in the game basically gets this fucking buff. And so HP inflation can't really be noticed if all of your teams are doing more damage. That's fair to say. But on these sides over here, right, where you have things like enemy all attribute resistance being increased, all of that jazz, certain enemy buffs that can only be removed if you have certain... If you're running like negative status or tunability on your team, like rupture or strain, and then of course, right, buffs to only certain types of damage, like Glacio Chafe, Fusion Burst, or Tune Strain Shifting. If you're not using those, you're not using these specialized mechanics, well, you're going to be in for a rough time. And most people that have tried this out can agree, oh yeah, dealing with flying bosses like the Lady of the Sea and the Nameless Explorer, with all these additional challenges over here, the shilling, and 20% HP inflation, that's a bit of a disaster. But somebody in the space has done it, ladies and gentlemen, and they've done it with some of the craziest restrictions of their own that they could possibly have. And that restriction is a full 36 out of 36 star with no limited characters at all. And this is the reality over here. People are going to be utilizing this clear, utilizing this gameplay as some sort of way to downplay the HP inflation that's been occurring in the endgame. Look, somebody did it with no limited units. Somebody did it with all free-to-play characters. And so it doesn't matter, right? As long as it can be done with free-to-play characters, it doesn't matter how much they inflate the HP. That's a retarded argument from retarded gacha communities like Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail, and Zzz'S. It's the Hoyo special to downplay when the developer fucks up their endgame. And this is a situation where I think Wuwa, Kuro Games, have kind of fucked up Wuwa's endgame. And I just want to walk through what's being done in these clears and what's being done on the investment side to actually allow this to happen. And so the builds are actually where we're going to start. The builds over here, just to take a look at the investment levels that he's using across all of his units. And the specific units will be for Hazard Floor 3, and these are going to be the main ones we look at. It's going to be Havoc Rover, Bu Ling, and of course, Sanhua on Floor 3. And then the same team over here for Floor 4. So those are the 3 builds we're going to focus on. And then I'll talk about how they're getting this done. All right, so first things first. Very, very, very good Havoc Rover build. Havoc Rover's actually main damage types are basic attack, liberation, and resonance skill. Like, heavy attack is the one thing that they don't do, and they're one of the more general damage type dealers in the game. So a split like this with 0% wasted stats on the damage bonus side, kind of crazy. So it's a near top 1% build at a baseline. Insane amount of attack. R5 EOG, not using a signature weapon, by the way, but do think about it this way. They got this much resonance skill damage without having Che-Li signature. So that's 48.8% resonance skill damage on the Echo side. Because they're using an R5 EOG, which gives no resonance skill damage. Do keep this in mind. So now they're going to get into the Echoes over here, and then we can start taking a look at some of the individual stats. Nightmare Crownless. Very, very, very good. It's a pretty much a 5 out of 5 piece because Havoc Rover does a lot of basic attack damage. And then over here, you're going to have basically another 5 out of 5 piece because they use all of these damage rolls too. And then over there, 1 wasted roll and low crit damage. And then over here, 4 out of 5. Easy, incredibly high roll, 4 out of 5 too. And then another, basically, 4 out of 5. Or 5 out of 5 piece over here. So basically 2 wasted subs, I think, on the whole build. And very, very, very high crit rate and crit damage rolls. So yeah, that's what the Rover's looking like. You can see a lot, basically near maxed out as well. And of course, S6. Nothing too crazy over there. Now we got the Sanhua. And this is my take on Sanhua. I don't build her. But when you're trying to squeeze out clears, yeah, you do want to build her. And it looks like this is also going to be a well-invested one as well. With not really a lot of wasted stats. Let's look at the EOG. An R1 EOG, not R5. So that's something to keep in mind. And then she's going to be on Moonlit Clouds. And then the Moonlit Cloud set is also going to be, well, honestly, for Moonlit Cloud sets, that is a pretty good one. And then, of course, you're going to have the Bu Ling over here. We're just going to take a look at that. The Bu Ling build doesn't necessarily matter as much, but there is one specific thing that Bu Ling does that no other character in the game that's a 4-star can do. And that's going to be this. I'll just spoil it for you. This is Bu Ling's ability. She's actually able to apply.
Tell me, what bothers you?
She applies Electro Flare. That is a negative status. And so they're essentially putting Bu Ling into the team to remove the 15% all attribute resistance. That's it. She also buffs resonance skill damage as well. So without this, I don't think this gets close to clearing. But why don't we go ahead and see? So yeah, we're essentially working with, on these floors 3 and 4 clears, top 1% builds on the Havoc Rover. Pretty good damage build as well as the Sanhua. And we're putting in Bu Ling to remove the 15% all attribute resistance. Now let's see how these clears do. I'll just give some light commentary for what's going on. And of course, pause if we need to, if he does something crazy. All right, so I think we go into an immediate crownless echo skill cancel into our liberation. That is the first thing that happens over here. So very, very, very fast button presses and immediate echo cancel for more damage. I assume the rotation is going to be a little bit sweaty over here. Okay, so yeah, we just did an echo skill into liberation, into resonance skill, and then swapped over to Sanhua. And then maybe use her echo skill cancel into her liberation, I think. Okay, so yeah, we echo skilled. You can see in the bottom right corner. In the span of a quarter of a second, we echo skilled, dash canceled it, then resonance skilled, and then liberation. So he actually pressed 4 buttons. So this is actually all the buttons he's pressed. He's done Havoc Rover's echo skill, then Havoc Rover's liberation, into Havoc Rover's regular skill, into a swap to Sanhua, into Sanhua's echo skill, into a dash, into Sanhua's resonance skill, into Sanhua's liberation. 8 button presses, and we are about 1.3 seconds into the run, 1.32 seconds into the run. 8 inputs in 1.32 seconds. Remember, guys. 8 inputs in 1.32 seconds. Do we want to utilize this? I'm just saying for anyone out there that wants to use this as the narrative, right? Power creep and the HP inflation, all of that, it's not an issue because the old units can still clear. Just press 8 buttons in 1.32 seconds, and you'll clear. That's all. And if you're not going to be somebody who's going to practice for hours to hit 8 buttons in 1.32 seconds, skill issue. If you use that as an argument, let me just be the first person to tell you, you're stupid. All right, now we're doing a Bu Ling rotation over here. We're not doing anything crazy here. He's just doing a typical Bu Ling rotation. Anyone can do this if you know her kit. All right, now we're on Sanhua, right into Rover, and this is where stuff just gets a little bit basic. We're just out here charging until we can enter big mode. Okay. It looks like he's wasting his ult here on something that has no HP, but I'm pretty sure the spawn hits the next wave. Yeah. He knows that the ticks persist. So yeah, we're using advanced gameplay knowledge over here that Havoc Rover's ult hitbox persists for like a half second after it's cast. So it will hit a mob as it's spawning. So yeah, we're using some optimized cancels over here to get that going. And now we're running some pretty typical like 1, 2, 3 rotations. Nothing too wild here. But this is something we also do. We don't necessarily refresh Bu Ling's outro. Yeah, she still has half her concerto. So I'll figure out what they're doing here. Okay, he's just pushing damage now real fast. So Bu Ling hasn't used her second outro yet. We're now using... So remember when I said it's a typical 1, 2, 3? It's not. This guy is actually doing like an extended rotation where he's doing 2 team rotations on Havoc Rover and Sanhua before Bu Ling has done her second one. So yeah, we're making use of the fact that Havoc Rover has a very short liberation cooldown of only 15 seconds. So that's where that R5 EOG is coming in handy, guys. You need a lot of ER to do this. Notice how he just used his liberation here, right? Right? To do that nuke. Uses an outro. Over here. Goes to Sanhua. Charges up her shit, right? Goes to Buling. Doesn't refresh her outro skill. Then goes back to Sanhua, refills it back up. And then back to Havoc Rover. Bro, we just used our liberation and now we're basically back to full. We just used our fucking liberation and we're almost back to full energy, even though we barely have used anything. And so part of how he's able to use like this insane build over here, right, guys, is due to the fact that an R5 EOG gives 25.6% ER. Yes, 25.6% energy recharge. That is a fucking lot. And the end result is that in character selection, how much do we have? Bro, we got like 135.6 with 1 ER roll. And bro, his ult is up constantly in this run and lets him run those very creative rotations. So yeah, he just used his liberation too. We used the liberation to initially damage this guy and we just used it again. So once again, this requires like a top 1% build, top 1% rotation practice, knowing what you can get away with in like one outro window between these two characters to get something that barely clears. So this is only the second Buling outro we've got. Right here, only the second one, bro. Get that nice double intro on Havoc Rover too. Oh, I'm surprised he didn't use the liberation cancel there. And the entire clear is basically just going to be this stuff, right? Running those, like, giga condensed rotations where you're speeding up Havoc Rover and Sanhua, have a shit ton of ER on Rover, and then you're just doing 2 rotations in the span of 1 Buling outro. And remember, this is with that 15% all attribute resistance removed. Remember that. And so now let's fast forward, see when this clear actually happens. He actually gets a pretty good clear time with it. I would say this is about... Yeah, clears with about 20 seconds left. But you can also think about it this way. This is 20 seconds left while removing this buff. And let me tell you this. If that buff wasn't removed by Buling, I don't think this clears. So, this is floor 3. And remember, floor 3 is easier than floor 4. And this is we're barely getting a 20-second clear with the 15% all attribute resistance removed. With gameplay, that's like 8 buttons in 1.32 seconds. I don't think it clears without the attribute resistance buff removed. And probably he had a lot of runs where he didn't even get close because those are some intense rotations he's running. And one misstep, right? One fuck up across 3 minutes and 10 seconds means just a reset. And that's probably happened very, very, very often in this run. However, this isn't the actual big issue in the TOA. This is probably the one that he reset on the least. Now let's check out floor 4 and see what happens over here, because this is the one where Mia, the flying enemies, all that. That's where it is. So let's see this one. So yeah, we get the immediate double cancel again. I think we're gonna go 8 buttons in 1.32 seconds again. Yeah, no, we're doing it. Yeah, no, he did it. He might have been faster this time though. Yeah, mine might have been 1.28. Yeah, 1.28 seconds this time. So this guy is clearly enjoying his time fighting against I don't even know how he's hitting her. Oh, no, he's not hitting her. Oh, and you can see his ER is getting fucked in the ass, right? You see that over there? Because he missed all those attacks. And now we got that double rotation tech. Right, we got that double rotation tech. We're in the duration of one Booling outro. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, we're doing 2 Havoc Rover rotations. You can see it's about to tick out. Can he get his liberation in time, though? Oh, he barely gets it with the Booling outro up. Guys, I bet he had so many clears where this shit does not happen. Where he barely had enough energy, and then this thing has like half a second left remaining. That is insane timing. And so we finally get our second Booling outro over here. Boom. Oh, we even have a bit of a fuck up in there. Oh, yeah. Look at that king stalling right there. Now, that is some A+ tier stalling right there. Okay. Looks like we gonna refresh our... Okay, we're not going for the double rotation cheeky tech here because we were trying to finish off Mia with an extended one. All right, then go for that immediate ult. Bro, I'm gonna be honest. I don't even know how this guy clears. This doesn't look like it's on a clearable pace. Do you see how tanky this motherfucker is? I need to see when he clears. He clears this? Recall where we were at this span of time on the Mia boss? Or on the previous stage? Cart was like dead. This guy still has like a whole third of his fucking HP left. Okay. Oh, and this is where squeezing in all those extra rotations comes in handy, boys. Oh, right. Oh, this barely gets it done. Oh, is he going to get it in time? Oh, he does. He does. He does. He gets it here. 5 seconds left with a, like, giga sweaty, turbo optimized double rotation in one Booling thing with like 8 button presses in 1.28 seconds. This is a masterful clip, right? Shows a lot of good game knowledge. Shows he knows how to push the limits of certain characters. It's very well done. But are you gonna do it? Hell fucking no. Are you gonna be the motherfucker that pulls an R5 EOG, 6 copies of it, just so you can do this? Just so you can push the ER threshold, give your rover a 24% attack buff. Because guess what, guys? This EOG isn't R5. This clear doesn't happen. This floor 4 clear doesn't happen, right? If this build isn't this insane, with like this few wasted stats, like I'm just gonna be honest, it's one of the most disgusting. Like, I'm just going to be honest here. That's like, he had 2 missed subs on the whole build. 2 missed subs on the whole build, R5 EOG, running double rotations. And that's kind of what feels like it's required to clear with 5 seconds left. Sorry, 6.29. I'm gonna be honest, bro. I know he made a couple of fuck-ups. Maybe the time will be closer to 240. But think of this as almost as close as... Bro, I would say this is potentially harder than playing Quick Swap, the shit that he's doing over here. because you're relying on outro timing. And we already saw so many instances, right, where you would have to reset. And this is also the big one, guys. I think this rover only has, like, maybe they have... they actually have... I think they gained 25% crit rate in their second form. So maybe they don't have to crit fish. But then again, they have a bunch of 10.5s on their build, right? They have a bunch of 10.5%, 9.9% crit rate rolls. And then I think with Havoc rovers like S6, they get like a 25% crit rate damage bonus. So yeah, it's like near 100% crit rate to remove the crit fishing because that build is nuts. Because that build is illegal. And of course, I think they're utilizing... Remember, they have 73.4.
As we head toward our shared future.
They got that 73.4% crit rate, right? Combine that with the S6, 25% crit rate in Dark Surge, that's near 100. But let's see how they got damn near 100, right? Because you had 25% of that, it's 98.4. I mean, hey, yeah, just casually... Yeah, just roll a 10.5, followed by a 6.9, that's easy. Followed by a 9.3, that's hard. Followed by a 7.5, that's middling. Followed by a 9.9. Yeah, he has a 9.9, a 9.3, and a 10.5 on the build. His rolls are kind of mid. Okay. Anyways. You can see over here. Let's not be at the point, ladies and gentlemen, where we're trying to go ahead, insinuate certain things, say that, hey, the direction that Kuro's taking the endgame is perfectly valid, perfectly fine, and amazing, right? Just because you see somebody clearing with standard units, or really not limited units. And this is the situation. I mainly made this video, recorded it for one simple purpose. To address some of the comments that I've gotten over here. The comments haven't actually been bad. The comments haven't actually been terrible. They haven't been really toxic positive. But it's something that I want to nip in the bud immediately, right? Because I made this video over here, 1.x units are done, talking about how basically everyone is getting mogged on floor 4. And there were some people that have already been said that, you know, that were already saying, oh, I just saw somebody clear with 1.x units. I just saw somebody clear with like 4 stars. It can't be that bad, right? Well, if this is the way that the 4 stars are clearing, it must be pretty bad, because there are very few accounts and very few players that are capable of doing this, and we should not be using the outliers as the mean. And this is us just breaking it down over here. So hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully that outlined just what you need to do as a player, what you need mechanically, and of course what you need on the investment side to actually make something like this happen. And it's quite a lot. Most of y'all ain't gonna do it. Let me know what you all thought. Peace out. Hey, that's a free fucking video right there. Hey, that's a free fucking video right there. But yeah, gameplay analyses are actually very fun to do, but they're only fun to do if you know how to play the game. And again, ladies and gentlemen, this is why I will always be the best play-by-play commentator for this game, ladies and gentlemen. How many of you guys caught that he did 8 button presses in 1.32 seconds? Let's be real here. How many of you guys caught that he did the Sanhua Echo skill into Liberation? You want to know how I knew he did that? His Sanhua was glowing during the ult animation. Yeah. It's because his Sanhua was glowing during the ult animation. Yeah. Yeah, this is elite ball knowledge right here. Yeah, that's elite ball knowledge right there. Yeah, I saw that shit. You can also hear the heron. Shut up. Sorry for playing your game, bro. I'm glad that all the comments are basically saying, yeah, I'm not doing that shit. I love how all the comments are like, yeah, I ain't doing that. Nah, I'm good. Nah, I'm good. And this is the thing. This ain't even like a simple 1, 2, 3 rotation that you guys can do. You need like fucking... That ain't no simple shit. That's crazy. You gotta practice a lot for that one. I mean, he did good with it. He did good with it for sure. Ooh, I'll call this one skill issue. Ooh, here we go. Skill issue. Guys, I didn't expect the content to flow this easily today. Sometimes I wake up and I'm like, oh man, what am I gonna make a bunch of videos on today? And then like, this was one of those days where I woke up thinking that, and then I remembered, oh my gosh, I have all my videos instantly. It was a blessing to see that the Wuwa 3.3 survey got sent out today. I was like, oh man, that's a fucking free one right there, bro. I don't even need to try with that. Bro, I still can't believe they made him look like this. Dude, like, is this not just like the most fucked up shit you've ever seen? Dude, this is the most insane catfish I've ever seen in a game before. It's like, this is like Expedition 33 badass, right? This is like Expedition 33, bro. Like, it gives the vibes. Bro, this is like Erection 33. What the fuck is this? How do you go from this to this? Bro, like, what is that? Why would you even do this? I've never been so pissed off before. I'm sorry, but dude, I literally uninstalled the game. I spent like an hour re-downloading it, and then I immediately uninstalled it after this shit came out. Bro, just like imagine you're building this shit in the Foundry. All you see is this, and then like this is what you see when you click equip Warframe, and you're just like, what the fuck? Like, I expected this, and then I got this. This Bruce. Fuck. Oh, fuck. You want to know what the most fucked up part is? I think they got regular Sevagoth too. Bro, do you want to know what regular Sevagoth looks like, bro? Bro, regular Sevagoth looks like this. Bro, this is the regular version. Looks just like... What the fuck? This is Sevagoth. This is Sevagoth Prime. What? Aren't the Primes supposed to be more badass versions? Yeah, they took out that bad part. They just made this the more ass version. I don't even know how you do. I don't even know who signed off on this, bro. There's definitely a gay old dude over at Digital Extremes, bro. There is one super gay old dude in there who like put like his like dream man in the game, bro. 1,000,000%. 1,000,000 fucking %. This is like somebody's fantasy, bro. I already know. Nah, there's no way you just put a design like this in your game. No fucking way you just put a design like this in your game, bro. Nah, this is a message. Fucking ridiculous, bro. I won't be surprised if the game lost players after that one. This isn't a first for Warframe. Nah, I mean, you already know the most recent, bro. They released like a BBW. Nah, you know they just made a BBW Warframe, right? I'm not even joking. I'm not even joking. They did. It's the most recent one. All right. All right. Yeah, no. Today's gone on for too long. Today's gone on. It's Jamaican Warframe. Okay, I need to cut it right here. I need to cut it right here. I need to cut it right here. All right. 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 Let's get this bad boy started. We've got a Glaive Kyo video, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get this one going. Genshin Impact's most hyped story just backfired horribly. When Glaive Kyo does well, I'm very, very, very happy because that means I get to do well too. So let's go ahead. Let's get right on into this. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. Everything that everyone expected to happen, well, it happened, ladies and gentlemen. Genshin Impact's story just released in version 6.6, and it is also one of the worst stories in the history of the game. Or at least it is in the perspective of Mr. Glaive Kyo over here, who has been on a bit of a rampage ever since that 6.6 livestream. The news of 60 polls, the news of story locks, the news of very poor rewards. Well, he's been on the game's neck, holding the developers accountable, the communities accountable, and I guess at this time, the writers accountable too, because apparently their most hyped up story just backfired horribly, and it involves characters like Nahidoi, characters like Dottore, a bunch of that stuff. So why don't we see how the cookie crumbles over here and just how bad this thing is, because we know all of us are never going to play it ourselves.
I cannot believe that yet again, I was wrong. If you watched my last video, you would know that I was genuinely convinced that once the 6.6 update for Genshin Impact goes live, the complaining would just end right there.
We all thought it too, right? Oh, it's going to be business as usual. It was like the 3 polls for the lantern, right? All of that. Hoyo will wave their magical wand, release the newest character trailer, and then everything will be as it was before. That was kind of like the divine act that would occur every single time Genshin would have a drama. Hoyo would just ignore the dumb little kids saying the dumb little fucking things, move on to the next release, and all of it would be gone. But this time, for some reason, it feels like the wound is like not healing. It's like festering, right? It's infected. And I do believe the reason why this sort of like lack of healing is occurring, right? This grievous wounds, it's quite simple. It's quite fucking simple. Yeah, it's because of this. I've been saying it since day 0. I'll keep saying it every single day for as long as I can until the collab releases. Bro, this shit is literally taunting and rage baiting every Hoyoverse player ever. Because they're actually seeing, holy shit, when a company has money, when a company gets donations, not really donations, revenue from their customers, and they reinvest it into their game, you can actually make some really, really, really cool shit. But then Hoyo has all this money, and then the games just keep getting worse, and the cool shit that they've been paying for, or really, they thought that they were paying for, never gets added to the fucking game. And when Wuwa is putting in badassery like this, and it hasn't even been 3 years, I think we just hit our 2-year anniversary, right? Genshin is going to be on its 6th, and it got fucking nothing, bro. It's fucking dog shit. It's on its 6th, bro. And there's nothing even close to this. So they gotta be kind of sitting out here being like, how does a game in 1/3 the span of time as Genshin, how is the game just better in every way? Hey, let's start bombing the reviews. Hey, let's just shit on everything. And that's why Genshin Impact players right now, I feel like this is why Glaive's channel is going off like crazy right now. They're all just so mad looking at this. They need a place to vent out their anger. They need an outlet. And here you go. Shit on the game. As you rightfully should.
I was expecting the timeline on social media would just be people bragging about getting Nicole early in their polls, or talking about how this was the best story quest the game had ever seen. And
business as usual.
so, to be honest, I was ready for the update to stop the whole movement. Well, it didn't. Oh my god, it didn't. Surprisingly, the exact opposite happened, because the moment the servers went live and people actually sat down to play through the story quest, the community completely crashed out. And
I'm excited to see this because I haven't been keeping up with Genshin Story Discourse. And I feel like there's been a growing number of people that have stopped doing that as well. Because I think after Natlan, a large subsect of like the Gacha player base just stopped caring about Genshin Story. No lie at all. I think people were invested up until the end of Fontaine, and then they were done. They were done because Natlan was so fucking bad.
And I mean literally, reaching trending levels of debates and frustration. People are giving it low ratings.
Let me see this. Let me see this rating over here. 6.6 gets a 4 out of 10, by the way. Uzui owns my ass. This guy's gay. 6.6 gets a 4 out of 10, by the way. Trash Quest solidifies the new title of Nothing Ever Happens Impact. Because there was literally 0 consequences to Immersal, birding, and 0 consequences to anything as usual. The only reason I'm giving it a 4 was for Totori himself. And so if Totori's not there, it's a 0. Damn, bro. These guys, these motherfuckers hella mad.
Calling it a trash quest. The content creators follow suit.
6.6 ended up having such poor writing that I stopped crying to stare at the screen. What? So, yeah, no, these guys aren't mentally stable. Hey, like I said before, I don't want to read anymore.
God, man. And also, Irminsul's now been burned. Where are the consequences of that? What, is anything that happened? No, you just allowed to do that because the Shade said so. Cool. What was the point?
And so I was surprised.
Damn, you got damn the VTubers are mad too. That's how you know that's not good.
I was wrong, but why? What really happened here? The quest couldn't be that bad, right?
Glay's been talking slower in his recent videos. Is he tired? He needs a 1.25.
I mean, this is the story that was hyped up for so long.
Now he sounds normal. I think he's slowing himself down in post-processing to get more ad revenue. I bet he is.
After looking into it more, I realized that the crash out actually kind of makes sense. But
no, he sounds normal. He's slowing himself down in post-processing. I know he is.
But before all that, if you want to see more content from me, feel free to smash the like button and subscribe. Hit the notification bell icon to keep up with my videos. Without wasting any more of your time, let's just get right into it. It all started with the length of the story quest and how that time was actually used.
How long do you think it was? I'm thinking 4 hours.
This might sound like a small thing to you, but it is actually important because it gives you a lot of context about the situation. 8 hours is a long time to sit.
No way.
Through a story. I don't think I need to tell you that. Yet, if you look at most of the complaints about it online,
I spent 8 hours and 30 minutes on it, including 4 hours of useless dialogue. Horrible day for employed people. Just finished the AQ. I think people overreacted. I think a lot of people misunderstood some things. I would be lying if it didn't feel rushed. It's a 7-hour story. What do you mean rushed? What are you talking about?
the word everyone keeps using to describe it
What?
is rushed. Brother, that is a story quest that takes as much time as a day job. You could be getting money instead of playing this story quest.
Bro, you could work for 8 hours and just go buy a unit and you would still have money left over. Like you could go work a job for 8 hours and just buy a unit instead.
So how can it be rushed? Well, the logic from the community is actually pretty simple. The length of the story quest does not equal the quality of the quest. So
Makes sense.
really it just comes down to how the writer spent those 8 hours. And
Kind of sounds like to me NTE and why I haven't been playing it. Bro, if you think a 7-8 hour Genshin story quest isn't good, okay, well just think about NTE's playtime. Just think about how your time is being split in Neverness to Everness. Spend 60 hours in that game. How much of it is quality time? Was the time you spent fishing quality time? Hell no.
let's just say it is not that good. For the first hour, everyone was locked in because the stakes were ridiculously high immediately. You had Kale having these intense, ominous dreams, Nahida slipping into a coma, and the entire nation scrambling to organize evacuations.
Oh no!
They threw in help from APAP, and out of nowhere, Pantalone shows up to make things even more tense. Side notes, but why does this guy have Recreator as his Fatui introduction instead of
You know what Regrader sounds like? He sounds like a guy that like is hired to like make sure the Parmesan cheese is fine enough. Like he gives it a second go around. Like that's what kind of fucking name is this, bro? Regrader?
Pantalone? Nobody knows, but who cares? He looks pretty and gay, and that is a W in my books.
Let me just play this real fast. Sorry, this is one of my favorite clips.
What's up, California? My name is Alex.
What's up, I'm Aiden.
I'm Oliver.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Dylan.
And together we are...
Gay as fuck. You guys are gay as fuck. And
What are you, fucking gay?
So everyone was sitting there thinking this was going to be the most insane, high-pressure quest the game had ever put out. But immediately after that intense setup, would it surprise you if I said that the common consensus about the quest is that, for the next few hours, the tension completely vanished and everyone got bored out of their minds?
This is what Wuwa 3.3's Seg had a chance to be. The second Seg with Denya. Imagine if that slice of life segment where you're like hanging out with like Sigrika and stuff, blah, 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 doing all of that, lasted like 3 hours before the seg was done. That's what I imagine was like going on over here. Like imagine if like your date with Denya took like 4 hours.
Why is that, Glaive? How could that possibly happen? The game sticks you into a brutal loop of just dialogue, and then walking, and then fighting a small group of enemies, to another dialogue, to another walking, to another dialogue, to another walking, puzzle solving, to another walking, to another dialogue. I think you get the point. It feels like a bloated world quest filler, and I think
But that's, how is that different from any other Genshin quest?
we all know that deeply in our souls. By the time the game
Show me a Genshin quest that isn't that.
suddenly remembered, it had an
Oh, wait, I've got one. I've got one. I've got one. Yeah, I've got it. I've got one. Are you ready? Wait for it. Wait for it. Oh, is it right here? There we go. Now, this is the shit that I'm talking about. This is the premier Genshin effect.
You're all right. Thank heavens.
I'm so happy to see you, sweet girl.
See, no need for combat, and it's only dialogue here. You don't even have character models either. Less is more.
An Archon quest to finish. It had to cram everything into the final stretch. All the actual action was jammed together right around the very end. You go from endless dialogue bloats straight into an arguably absolute cinema combat. So
I see. So the Dotori boss fight itself is nice and fun and stuff, but there's just a bunch of garbage in between to just amp up the playtime of the patch because there's no events. I see what's going on here. Genshin Impact basically needs you to register a certain amount of playtime every single update. And hey, fuck it. If we're too lazy to put in events, just make the story 7 hours long and we'll get the playtime that way. And this is the kicker. If they don't do this 7-hour story this update, well, they'll have to do it next update to do the next version story. So, hey, we're going to get our blood, and we're going to get our blood somehow, brother.
suddenly you're throwing hands with a Fatui using the weirdest, most unoptimized trial teams imaginable.
They're just teasing lunar swirl. Anemo will now interact with Dendro. They'll find some way. It'll create this. It'll create the elemental reaction pollen, and then the enemies will like sneeze, and like freeze or something. It'll be good.
Right before jumping into a massive, heavily teased boss fight that unfortunately also has its own problems. But too long didn't read. The community is upset because the story spends hours dragging its feet, only to panic sprints through the actual climax.
No, I think that's just what it is. They amped up the playtime of the story, knowing that they didn't have that many events at all. No real content to do, so your playtime will be in the story. I legitimately think that's what it is.
When you spend 6-7 hours doing nothing and then resolve a decade-long build-up in 10 minutes, obviously the ending is going to feel rushed.
And again, yes, this is the Dotori storyline, which got started in Sumeru back in 2023. It might have started in 2022, to be honest. Yeah, 2022 is when Sumeru came out, right? And then 2023 was when it like was when like the arc concluded and then Fontaine began. So yeah, it came out in 2023, bro. That was about 3 years ago.
While the pacing is horrible, there is another thing that is being debated very heatedly on the internet, and it's about permanent consequences, or more specifically, the complete lack of them. So much so that the community labeled this game Nothing Ever Happens Impact. And looking at the reality of the situation, it is hard to blame them. The biggest talking point for players was the burning of Irminsul, which is basically the giant mystical tree that acts as the world's central database for history and memories.
They hype this shit up so much that it not doing anything is retarded. Like, this is the thing. I remember the significance of that tree burning. Bro, they made it so front and center. I think this is the best equivalency to make for the Wuthering Waves audience. Imagine that the Black Shores gets nuked and then nothing happens. Yeah, it just gets blown up. That's like kind of what this is.
This is supposed to be a catastrophic world-shifting event. I mean, it is the literal roots of all knowledge in Tevat, but
like, you get what I mean?
For some god knows what reason,
like Tethys blows up. That's a better one. Not the Black Shores, but Tethys just blows up and then nothing happens.
the writers basically have the character shrug it off and say everything is fine because it was forced onto them anyway. Nahida literally grew from that tree, but she wasn't affected at all. All we got to show for the destruction of the world's database were 2 wilted ley lines and 1 guy going crazy just from being close to the city. Like, what is even going on? At this point, any sense of immersion is just gone. This complete lack of consequences started a broader realization among the player base that the overarching plot has no real stakes. Take the Gnosis, for example.
The overarching plot has no real stakes. It's so easy to just draw some, like, parallels to Wuthering Waves right now, where the overarching plot in Wuwa, like, bro, shit has, like, you can actually see how the villains are, like, doing something. You can see, like, the villains, like, beta test making artificial Threnodians with, like, Mia, getting research from Jinsei, getting research, right, from what happened in Renacida, and then, like, succeeding, right, with, like, Aleph 1 or, like, whatever, Denya, all of that, but not really, right? You can at least see them try to do something. Bro, it's like these guys are, like, hyping up all this fucking burning Ermonsul and shit, and nothing is happening still. Bro, like, Denya, like, fucking died, right? Like, Aleph 1, bro, we had fucking Duskfall, bro. We almost, like, buried the Academy under, like, a sea of, like, some shit. Right? There's so much shit here that's like...
The chess piece looking item.
Bro, what the fuck even are these? Who cares about these anymore? Bro, these are like the fucking condoms that you bought freshman year of college that are still in your dorm dresser. Trash.
That hold divine power. For years, the main driving force...
Bro, I'm pretty sure the Gnosis expired.
...of the game has been chasing these things down or watching the villains steal them. But looking at the community discussions, people are pointing out that the loss of a Gnosis means absolutely nothing to the gods who actually hold them. And no matter what arguments you use to defend this fact, all of it is really just theories.
A game theory.
There is no official confirmation about why these things happen. You can sort of guess it back in Liye, when the Geo Archon just handed his over, and it was pretty much confirmed by Inazuma, when they didn't even show the Gnosis being handed over. "Oh yeah, I just gave it away," said Yayamiko. Gave away the Gnosis, I guess.
Are they important or are they not? Bro, bro, it's like it's fucking like Schrodinger's plot device, bro. It's like some people will be holding on to the Gnosis like it's their firstborn son. Other people, like, got rid of it like a toenail clipping, bro. Like, what is happening? Like, yeah, how am I supposed to take this shit seriously?
Pyronosis has vanished, I guess. What happens? Nothing. It's not like they care anyway, apparently. So what's the point? I don't know. But what really broke the community's immersion was the dialogues after the cinema moments. After watching the literal foundation of reality get wiped out, you would expect a heavy, at least meaningful debrief about the future of the world.
What did they do?
Like, ooh, what is gonna happen next, you thought? Surely this thing happening has insane after effects, right? So why are we talking about food? Why is the god of Dendro spending more time talking about tomatoes than discussing the literal annihilation of Ermonsul? They changed—
Where are the tomatoes?
Scenes. They went from cinema to a comedy show, the one that is not even funny. And if you don't believe me, look at this dialogue bloat, by the way.
What a wonderful idea.
What a wonderful idea.
What we should eat.
What should—
Well, whatever we eat, we could just use this motherfucker head as a plate, bro. What is that? Bro, what is that? What even is this?
What should we eat? Not more tomatoes. Long pause. More?
Dendro Archon,
what do you mean more tomatoes? Come on, bro.
Those good friends of yours are always talking about
tomatoes.
Tomatoes. I
Tomatoes.
can even hear them arguing in the fields. Since you see them so
Oh my. My dialogue bloat.
Is this like what is this the fucking Coco Melon? Is this the Coco Melon collab? Like what?
Tomato, who cares? It builds up these massive apocalyptic scenarios only to immediately pivot back to childish, low-stakes, slice-of-life chatter. And can you tell me why? It feels like the writers just didn't care about the weight of their own story, which, to be honest, I'm not even surprised about at this point. And then you have the playable characters themselves, who seem wrapped in a permanent layer of safety. The script tries to tell you that the entire nation of Sumeru was on the verge of total destruction, but none of the cast actually conveys that. The writing kept reverting back to cheap, predictable character gimmicks.
Did they have like Daya, Sino, Kaveh, Alhaitham? Like, did they have like Candace? Did they bring any of those guys back, or was it just like, were they busy? Were they just busy?
Unity pointed out how absurd it felt to have Sino cracking jokes while they were actively discussing the fact that their god was in a coma. Kaveh
so it was just like pointless stuff that didn't even matter.
Spent the majority of his screen time stealing the focus by screaming and bickering over his usual housemate drama. These characters are written so one-dimensional here that
I see. They weren't doing anything, basically.
It completely derailed attention. The only character who escaped this criticism was Tainari. The player base widely highlighted him as the sole voice of reason throughout the entire questline, mostly because his dialogue actually matched the gravity of the situation.
Got it. So it was just more of the shit that made parts of Wuwa 3.3 story annoying. That everyone keeps asking for patch after patch. Interaction slop. Where you force characters that don't actually belong in the story or the setting, and you just give them dialogue voice lines because the players are parasocial and need to see their favorite unit on screen saying something. Otherwise, they don't like it. Yeah, you know what? You know what that is kind of like equivalent of. It's like that's the mindset of a fucking 10-year-old, bro. That is the mindset of like an immature baby.
Yeah, I didn't see who I liked, so I don't like it. Mom, put the big yellow bird back on the TV. I like him. I like the big yellow bird. On Sesame Street. That's what I like.
While everyone else was acting like they were on a school field trip, Tainari was the only one treating the emergency like an actual emergency, which ironically made everyone else look even more detached from reality. Nobody in the group acts stressed, nobody conveys a sense of urgency, and the tension only exists when a character explicitly reminds you of it in the dialogue. A world-altering catastrophe gets completely trivialized, leaving.
If you want an alternative, just go to Wuwa 2.7. Bro, just look at Wuwa 2.7. That is the opposite of interaction slop. Wuwa 2.7 is like, wow, this is an actual crisis, and every single way the characters are interacting with each other makes sense. You see, like, Carlotta and Zani, like, securing people in the Alvarado Vault, all of that, right? You see, like, Brant and Rosia going ahead and, like, you know, trying to get people evacuated and stuff and, like, onto, like, boats. You see, like, the Phasalia, right? You see Cantarella having, like, private conversations with Rover because she hears the Theronian, right? And it's like, oh, yeah, Rover, you're actually, like, the anchor. Like, you're the reason why this shit is happening, bro. You better watch the fuck out. Also, Avidius is crashing out. You should go check up on him, right? Augusta and Yuno flying in on their griffins as like the envoys from Septimont, right? Bro, it's like this shit actually makes sense. And I hate interaction slop the most because it just shows me that the devs are getting pressured by the player base, where they're deciding to sacrifice the narrative of the story, how well it flows together, the cohesiveness of the dialogue, just to appease some retarded kid who needs to see his favorite superhero on the screen. Guys, the story's more important than just getting a little bit of screen time for somebody that you like. And if there's a way to combine screen time with more characters in a good format, just look at 2.7 and you'll see that happen in real time.
the characters to casually shrug it off with lines about how they just have a fight tomorrow. Isn't that insane? No wonder the players are angry. The worst discourse among every other topic in this video, though, is how the game completely fumbled the final showdown with Dottore. And to be honest, it is impressive how this multi-billion-dollar nuclear reactor-owning company managed to frustrate both the players who love him and the people who absolutely hate him.
Ooh, can't wait to see how they pissed everybody off. You build up this character before your game even launches, and you bid him farewell after nearly a decade with a 10-minute showdown with zero stakes.
This is a villain the developers have been hyping up since before the actual game even launched, dating all the way back to the official webtoon nearly a decade ago. With all that build-up, obviously the players would feel completely unsatisfied with the final confrontation only lasting about 10 minutes, betrayed by how
Man, I can't imagine somebody that would build up something for like several years and then bring it down to the fucking ground. Yeah, anyone seen Game of Thrones season 8?
fast he kicked the buckets. They argue that a villain with that much buildup deserved way more than a sudden exit. Lore enthusiasts are equally furious about how much of his history was left completely untouched. We didn't get any real answers about why he was chased out of his hometown.
Maybe Hoyo's pulling a D&D. Maybe Hoyo is actually doing a Game of Thrones, where, like, it starts off, like, okay, and then the story just turns to shit, except this time they don't have the excuse of running out of source material, like the Game of Thrones writers did. They just were just like, bro, well, like, he's writing the books too fucking slow, so, like, how about you just get off our back, right? In this case, like, what can you say? We suck. Please get off our back. Like
as relationship with Sore, or the specific details behind his expulsion from the academia. The story basically just reduces him to being born evil, completely skipping any deep exploration of how he actually became so malicious.
And this is the thing, bro. Bro, these guys are writing themselves into, like, the most retarded hole ever. Because obviously, like, aside from this guy, every Fatui Harbinger has, like, been good. Right? So, like, then it becomes a matter of, like, yo, Saritsa, like, I see your harbingers, right? You got, like, Winston Churchill. Oh, you got Franklin D. Roosevelt. You got Gandhi over here. Maybe a little bit of, like, Barack Obama over there. And then Hitler. It just doesn't make sense for this to happen when all the Fatui Harbingers actually good guys. Scaradouche, good guy. Arancino, good guy. Columbina, good guy. Sandroni, good guy. Capitone, good guy. And then Hitler. And they're all on the same that doesn't make sense, bro. And I guess, was that not explained either?
And I'm not saying that there is really anything that could redeem him as the bad guy here, right? Don't misunderstand. We all know
Roosevelt and Churchill weren't good. Well, they weren't Hitler.
This guy is vile to his core, and no amount of lore is going to salvage his reputation. The people who are praising him to be the most evil villain in Genshin. How could someone like Dottore be so evil? Well, I guess we'll never know. It also,
like, you would imagine that, like, oh, maybe if they went through the story of, like, how he, like, used to be good and then he became corrupted and it then became evil, it makes more sense. But it's also like, hey, yo, this guy's running, like, human experiments and shit and is, like, basically, like, an actual terrorist, and, like, but he's fine. Like, he can stay, he's still employed at the company. Just bringing glory to Snezhnaya with every fucking human rights violation. Come on.
Also felt deeply anticlimactic because Dottore didn't really pay for his crimes, nor did he achieve what he actually wanted. He had no real narrative conclusion with Scaramouche, which is easily his longest-standing relationship in the game's lore, and that makes no sense. Dottore is the literal monster who ruined Scaramouche's entire life by murdering his closest friend Niwa and framing it as a betrayal. Dottore experimented on Scaramouche's puppet body, using his Canria tech as a blueprint to build his own segments, the multiple clone versions of himself. Scaramouche is the living anchor to Dotori's past crimes and his current power. So the fact that they didn't get a satisfying conclusion completely robs the story of its biggest payoff. At most, the community theorized that they recognized each other, and that was basically it.
I think Genshin is kind of just proving how bad it is when you take this long to write a story. Because I bet what's occurred is that these guys just changed their mind. Hesitation and, like, rethinking over an actual good decision is typically one of the things that ruins most things. I'm just going to be honest. Most people will actually have, like, a good idea on the first pass. Then they overthink it and then turn it into dog shit. And I'm pretty sure because these guys take 1 fucking year to tell a short story and then have a bunch of filler and conversations and probably bong hits in between, they end up fucking up this story because there's constant rewrites, constant retconning, and at this point, I don't even know what the original vision was, and it was probably better than what the fuck they have right now. Because that's the thing with live service sometimes, bro. You can get, like, distracted by trends. You can get distracted by, like, what's hot right now. And, like, weave this shit into the development and then ruin everything else. Because you want to know what I bet occurred? They originally were going to get into it. But they're not, because there's, like, something more appealing that they can, like, attach Dotori to. Like, now they're probably in some rewrite, they were like, oh, yeah, let's make him related to Canria and Celestia. So, like, let's not expand this much on him now. Let's make people think he's dead. Then he'll come back, and he's like a Canrian god. We're gonna make God Hitler. That's gonna really spice up the storyline. That's what I bet.
Does that sound satisfactory? Because to the community, it just sounds lazy. Thankfully though, the story quest wasn't entirely bad because there is a completely different side to this debate as well. Even the people who hated the plot had to admit the actual execution of the final cutscene was spectacular. Earlier in the story, Dotori deleted his other segments, and the last one standing explicitly cursed him. Seeing him get dragged into the fire by the literal hands of his past segments was a perfect slap in the face to his massive ego. He didn't even fight back because he believed he had already broken the fate system, proving that to him, the process of the experiments mattered way more than the actual results. A specific subset of the community also loved how quiet
he's not dead though, I bet.
And peaceful his departure was. They felt the portrayal of his relationship with Pantalone was unexpectedly gentle and tactful. Having Pantalone interrupt and constantly correct Dotori's story made them feel incredibly human. I mean, we haven't seen anything like that before.
So were these two gay?
The change-up is great in of itself. Dying in his own homeland next to the only person he could reasonably call a friend
Nah, super gay.
was seen by his fans as a beautifully poetic ending that leaves plenty of room for future speculation.
Yeah, that they're gay.
Like them apparently being gay. The music
He knew. Glaive knew that's what everyone was going to be thinking. Because all I could think was, dude, this is a gay cutscene. Like, dude, this cutscene is super gay.
Music and voice acting were great as per usual, but the real talking point was the new level of character expression, especially a highly detailed scene featuring Kale. People joke that the developers spent 2 entire patches handcrafting her movements, instead of just letting her stand there like a frozen NPC, which is really funny to be honest, but hopefully the devs can make the dialogue even more expressive where it's appropriate. The cutscenes were
I love how that's just a backhanded compliment. Hey, the character isn't using preset animations that have been used in the game for 5 years. The character's using an animation that isn't from, like, the stock pool that they have. Damn, they must have taken them 2 updates to do this. Damn, it must have taken these Genshin devs 2 updates to just rig a normal animation that everyone else does.
also great, like the duo ultimate attack between the Traveler and the Wanderer. These are not bad, you know, these are pretty good. But some could argue that this should be the bare minimum. But most of the time, where I see it, this was enough to have the defenders go super toxic positivity mode. The moment anyone tried to bring up legitimate criticisms about the terrible pacing or the lack of real stakes, the hardcore defenders immediately shut them down. The go-to response became labeling critics as lore skippers. They accuse you of just clicking through the dialogue or entirely failing to understand the plots.
These guys don't seem to realize that less in the context of stories is always more. The less time it takes for you to tell the same story as somebody else, the better your storytelling skills are. I hope people recognize that. If you speak for an hour and somebody walks away with the same knowledge or feelings that somebody took 3 hours to say, the 1 hour one is better. Because it's the same experience, same sort of motive, right? But maybe there's less stuff distracting from the message. And this is the thing. I see the potential here for some solid story beats, right? The better animations, I guess for some people, right? Like the humanization, the characterization, and the gayness. And then, of course, right, the actual, like, cutscenes. Those could actually be, like, good things. But if it's marred down by 6 hours of bullshit that's trash and not good, then the 1 hour or the 10 minutes that is good, it gets diluted. Bro, why do you think alcoholics drink hard liquor instead of seltzer? Because they're trying to get to the good shit faster, bro. 40% is a lot more than 5%. And think about it this way. The goal of any story writer should be to give those story addicts a strong dose in as little of a time as possible. These guys, bro, their story is at like 1% strength. You got to work to get a buzz from this thing.
Completely killed any nuanced discussion. The community became incredibly hostile, with them refusing to even consider the basic reality that a player could pay perfect attention to the story and simply find it mediocre. But
this is more so the thing. If you can't find anything mediocre about a story like this, then you're probably the issue.
Besides that, the analytical players are calling Genshin a potential game. Genshin is a masterpiece when it comes to setting up fascinating concepts on paper, but when it comes to the execution, it always leaves a lot to be desired. Just like with the concept of Fatui, it is all if and when, never is. And we have had good quests where—
Did someone just say Cookie Run Kingdom's writing is better than Fatui? That's a— Damn, you getting beat by fucking pastries, bro.
They managed to deliver a great story because they focused on one specific thread. Now they're forced to bloat these major updates by forcing as many characters and events into the script as humanly possible, resulting in a bloated, messy conclusion that satisfies no one. For a lot of long-term players, this story quest became the absolute breaking points for their burnout.
Genshin is Game of Thrones. I'm beginning to realize that these guys have written themselves into hell. I think that's what it is. They just don't know what they're doing anymore because they've opened up so many different fucking plot points, managed to close none of them in like 7 fucking years. You're still talking about Mondstadt. Somehow you're still doing it. I don't even know why. Like, bro, when's the last time you guys went to Japan, bro? Bro, when's the last time Japan had anything? Wasn't the last thing Inazuma had was like last year where Mizuki opened up a fucking hot spring?
Who have logged into the game every single day are now openly admitting that they are ready to quit. The only thing keeping them tethered to the game isn't
sunk cost
or curiosity about the future. It is pure sunk cost fallacy.
Yep.
They are stuck in this cycle of exhaustion, realizing that the game's formulaic writing isn't going to change.
I'm pretty sure there are so many people that watch Game of Thrones Season 8, not because it was good or because it was an enjoyable experience, but because they watched Seasons 1 through 7, so they just have to finish 8. Do you know what I mean? And I think Genshin is at this point. You have people that played Seasons 1 through 6 of Genshin, and now they're just playing Season 7 because it feels like a moral obligation. It feels like a moral obligation. You might as well. You've already invested this much time. But it turns out that shit could be so bad that you end up dropping it anyways. And there are plenty of people that watched the first half of Season 8 and they were like, I'm good, bro. And there are some people where they haven't even started Game of Thrones yet and they stopped because they heard how bad Season 8 was. And believe me when I say this, Genshin Impacto players and Genshin Impacto developers, there will be people that drop Genshin in the early story because they find out how bad the later story is. Because why would I want to waste my time playing a story that gets worse? And on the other hand, when you actually see a story that gets better, Wuthering Waves, the opposite effect occurs, but Hoyo's never going to experience that. Because all their stories have only gotten worse. Like, bro, what Hoyo game has gotten a story that's better? Yep, Bellabog was the peak. Only downhill ever since. What else? Sixth Street was peak, and then only downhill ever since. That happened too. Fontaine was peak, and then only downhill ever... You know what I'm saying, right?
And realizing that their massive financial investments is the only reason they haven't deleted the app yet. But that is another topic for another video. For now, looking at everything though, what have we learned here? The 6.6 updates of Genshin Impacts exposes a pretty glaring issue within the community. The devs are clearly improving in terms of storytelling and choreography, expressive animations, and other stuff, but the...
Wait, weren't the playable characters Nicole and Lohan? Oh, that's how you know this story's filler.
Community's reaction is proving that those improvements...
Oh, that's how you know this story's filler? They're probably just like, ah, shit. Yeah, we gotta get something out. Hey, fuck it, wrap up Dottore. Hey, let's just job him real fast.
Just aren't enough anymore, when the dialogue is still incredibly bloated and carries not much, if not zero, narrative weight. When the script treats the burning of Irminsul, the literal foundation of the entire world's history, with the same exact emotional gravity as a casual joke about dinner and a random argument about tomatoes, you can't expect players to care about a world-ending threat when the characters themselves forget about it 5 minutes later. But
take the lack of seriousness that you saw over here and then compare it to 3.3 where Star Torch gets evacuated. Or again, 2.7 where Renacida gets evacuated.
I'm curious where you stand in all of this, or if you think the community is just overreacting to the whole thing. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to support it, share it, like...
Anyways, another W video by Glaive Keo over here. And once again, right, it just goes to show that this guy's, like, actually paying attention to what's going on in the story. Like, I don't know how much of that 7-hour dog shit festival that guy actually watched, but it appears that he was spitting, since I assume Genshin Impact players as well are agreeing with him. Guys, the story in this game is not good. I think that's like the main thing that people seem to still somehow argue about, that like the Genshin story is actually like great. No, you simply have been absorbing it for the greater part of a decade, and so you're convincing yourself it's good, because otherwise you would say, with full honesty, you wasted a good part of the last decade playing this fucking story. And nobody wants to say they wasted that many years of their life, because it's embarrassing and you feel retarded having said that. So it's kind of like a defense of like yourself, your own mental state, of course your time investment, and fuck it, your money as well. It's in every Genshin player's best interest to say the story's good, but sometimes you just gotta tell the truth. And dude, this thing is trash. It's been trash for like since Fontaine. Bro, it's been trash since 2024. You can say it. Bro, this shit is bad. And that's why I keep making those comparisons to Game of Thrones, because I'm seeing the same exact writing on the wall and the same exact responses from the player base that I saw, again, close to a fucking decade ago. Because that's when Season 8 came out. Let me know what you all thought. Peace out. All right. The mind tricks itself to protect itself. Exactly. Exactly. Happens all the time. Happens all the time. That's how eating disorders happen. Literally, that's how... Yo, eating disorders, yeah, it's like the same fucking shit, bro. It's your brain starts lying to you. All right, well, we got a fucking... I'm not gonna lie, we had a bit of a diabolical day today. Bit of a diabolical day today, but I think it actually went pretty well considering, bro, bro, I'm gonna be honest. I don't even know how we farmed 4 videos today. How did we even farm 4 vids today when there's nothing going on? That's impressive. That is impressive once you think about it. But yeah, we got our live stream the day after tomorrow. So I'm probably going to try to do like a shorter, like an even shorter day than today, tomorrow. Probably just do like a quick little morning thing, right? Quick little morning thing. Probably just like one fast little video. Maybe I won't even do a morning thing tomorrow, right? Because I got to be waking up at 3 the day after that. 3 the day after that for our live stream. So, yeah, I think I'll just raid you guys over to Razor right now and, yeah, because he's playing some Wuwa. Yeah, Razor's playing some Wuwa. So, yeah, we'll kind of, like, go from there. Here we go, guys. I will see all of you at a later time. Peace.
If you spend real money,